プレイステーション。 プレイステーション This year marks the 10th anniversary of the Vision Gran Turismo project. And yesterday we decided to unveil this gorgeous VGT from Genesis. Just take a look at it in all of its magma orange glory. We're coming to you from Barcelona for the Gran Turismo World Finals. I'm Jules Hardy, and I thought, we thought we'd just add one more car to this amazing collection, this time from BVLGARI.
It was a dream for me. I played Gran Turismo on the PlayStation for many years.
3歳の時から車が好きで自分で遊びたかったんですよね。だからプレイステーションを立ち上げるっていうそういうチャンスに恵まれた時に30年前にだったらこれを作らなきゃと思って作り始めたのがグランツーリスモ。
The dashboard that inspired the watch is the dashboard of one of the most iconic cars of the 80s, 90s, but was not enough. So we decided to create a concept car, the cars that get inspiration by the watch.
自動車のデザインの歴史の中にちゃんと位置づけられるような車になったと思います。
Wow, what do you guys think of that? Let's hear it. Wow. I'm joined by Fabrizio Stigliani, who is the product creation executive director at BVLGARI and, of course, series producer of Gran Turismo, Kazunori Yamauchi-san. And well, welcome both. First of all, welcome to the Gran Turismo family. Lovely to have you here. Let's start off very simply with, what's it called? Talk us through how you got here.
This is a fantastic experience for us. Honestly, between Kazunori and me, we have a friend in common. And everything started with a very simple story. Fabio Filippini once called me and say, I know very well the people of Gran Turismo. What do you think to make something different together? And everything started in this way, just to have fun and just to make sketches about the watches and the car.
Because, I mean, you're not, as BVLGARI, you're not really renowned for your cars, are you? It seems a little bit of a, what was the appeal?
But we don't sell cars for sure. We sell watches, jewelry, we have amazing hotels around the world. The idea was to make a limited edition watch inspired by the car universe. I'm a former car designer, but the idea was even to play with the beauty, the Italian sense of beauty. And at the end, behind watches, jewelry, hotel and resorts, perfumes and accessories, there is emotions. So when we talk about emotions, you can design a car, you can design all what you want, not just watches, jewelry and perfume. So that's the key behind this project. The watch, 2 limited edition watches with 2 different dials, and the opportunity to play and to drive a BVLGARI car in the game, just to give you a different emotion, a different sensation about the brand.
I mean, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Yamauchi-san, so a limited edition watch. We got this BVLGARI. How does this make you? Look at this. Look at this. There you go. That's what you want. Shot of the watch there. Beautiful. How does this make you feel? Are you happy? Look all these things that are being created.
ビジョン GT のスタートから10年、グランツーリスモの始めから25年経った今どんな気持ちですか？
はい、グランツーリスモというタイトルが25年以上も続いたっていうのもね、僕にとっては本当に 意外だったし、すごく皆さんのサポートがあってのことだと思いますし、同時に、こういったビジョングランツーリスモみたいなプロジェクトが10年間も続いたっていうのは本当に嬉しいし光栄だと思っています。
So, the Gran Turismo title, it's a surprise to me that it has lasted 25 years. And it's also, due to everyone here's support that it's lasted so long. And, the Vision Gran Turismo project as well, it's already been 10 years, since it started. And I'm very happy about it and very honored that, everyone has been with us this long.
We're super happy that you've done it as well. But what do you think of the car, Yamauchi-san? What do you think? This one. Yeah.
この車見るべきところいろいろあるんですけど、まず一つはね、いろんなものの比率、バランスがすごくいいんですね。
So there's a lot to see on this car. I mean, first off, you look at every part of the car. There's an incredible balance of design in every piece of the car that you see.
直線と、ほぼ円弧だけで構成されてるっていうのも70年代のイタリアの車を思い出しますよね。
And the fact that it's created solely by lines and arcs really reminds you of the Italian cars design of the 1970s.
この車はおそらくね、自動車のデザインの歴史に残る一台だと思います。
And I really do think that this car is a car that's going to be marking its name in the history of automotive design.
It's very, very beautiful. Please give a big round of applause to Yamauchi-san and Fabrizio from BVLGARI. It's gorgeous. We love it. And we've got a little video, a little bit more about this particular car. Hello and welcome from Barcelona for the Gran Turismo World Finals. I'm Jules Hardy and we are on the final date from the Gran Turismo calendar. How have we got here? Yesterday was the Manufacturers Series where Team Nissan was victorious, even though the race was incredibly spicy around the Nürburgring, and honestly it could have been anyone's win on that track. It was amazing. But that was yesterday. That seems like a long time ago. Today is the Nations Cup, so we're going to find out whether Team Brazil is going to be inspired by having Igor Fraga. Will Team Japan struggle having Takuma Sasaki out of their lineup? Or will Team Spain repeat their great performance from the showdown in Amsterdam? Well, my friends, it is about time to find out because the Nations Cup World Finals is about to start. Let's see how the competition's going to break down. 12 nations competing, giving us a total of 36 drivers. Not just any drivers, the top 3 online drivers from each country. The fastest of these 3, the top-ranked driver, will enter a qualifying time trial. The results of this time trial determine not only the grid for race 1, but also the car selection. There will be 3 races to begin with, 1 driver per country per race, so whilst drivers compete under a flag, they do have a race of their own. Results will determine the next race's grid. Do well and start at the top of the next race. Points are scored all along the way here in GT, so every position is worth the fight.
Next up, the Grand Final. As it's described, each driver from the team will take a stint behind the wheel. It's grand points that are awarded in the Grand Final, doubling the amount on offer. The winning team is the team with the highest points, and yeah, it sounds easy, but this is the Nations Cup, so nothing comes easy.
Hello everybody, welcome to the GT Desk for the final time in 2023. It is the Gran Turismo World Series World Finals, and it's time for the Nations Cup. I am so excited for this. We've had 2 brilliant days worth of action in the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup, and yesterday in the Manufacturers Cup as well. My name is Tom Brooks, alongside me as ever, JB, Jimmy Broadbent. Looking forward to having your company here today. JB, what are we expecting for the Nations Cup? Because, of course, a different format compared to previous years.
Yeah, much more of a team game this time around, of course, as opposed to being just an individual driver highlighted. And we've had some amazing racing over the last couple of days. I think it's going to really set the tone for today. Some of these guys have already been part of 2 competitions already, so they're all nice and warmed up. However, some, it's their first time driving. So a bit of a mix there, I think, for some of the competitors.
Yeah, it's going to be hugely interesting to see how it all works out. But it's not about us here as well. It's about you watching at home. And we've got some fantastic campaigns in Gran Turismo 7 at the moment, in line with what's happening here as part of the World Finals. Take a look at this and see what it's all about.
If you've opened up GT7 in the past couple of days, you'll see that it's been updated for the GT World Finals in Barcelona. It's your chance to get rewarded with amazing gifts all weekend. If you think you can predict who'll be our 2023 winners, click the bonus campaign button on the GT7 map screen to join the Predict the Winner campaign by Brembo. Receive 1 million credits every time you predict correctly. You can vote right up until the start of the grand final race of each event. You can also get rewarded by watching the World Finals directly in GT7. Click the button on the GT7 map screen and join the Viewers campaign by BBS. You will automatically receive a new Vision GT concept car for every show that you watch. While you're in GT7, participate in the final celebration race to experience the same races as the drivers competing at the World Finals this weekend. Keep practicing, and who knows? It could be you going head-to-head here next year.
Well, without further ado, it is time to meet the 12 teams that will be competing as part of the Nations Cup here tonight. First of all, please welcome Matt McEwen, Cy Bishop and Thomas England for Team New Zealand. Next up, please welcome Danny Wigneswar and Taj Iman and Iqbal Suji for Team Malaysia. The 10th team, please welcome Kai de Bruin, Floris Zimmerman and Rick Kevelan from Team Netherlands. From Team Chile, please welcome Angel Enestrosa, Harold Valson and Fabian Portilla. From Canada, please welcome Ethan Lim, Trent Jeffrey and Mark Pinnell. Next up, please welcome Quintenia Hall, Giovanni Bacciglieri and Keanu Defro for Team Belgium. For Team Japan, please welcome Rikuto Kobayashi, Takuma Sasaki and Saya Suzuki. From the USA, please welcome Kevin Pounder, Donovan Parker, and Kalen Roach. Team Brazil, please welcome Adriano Carrazza, Lucas Benelli, and Igor Fraga. Please welcome Kylian Drumont, Baptiste Beauvoir, and Thomas Leboutelet. Italy, please welcome Valerio Gallo, Giorgio Mangano, and Marcus Busnelli. And finally, from Team Spain, please welcome Jose Serrano, Coque Lopez, and Paul Ura! And now, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to remove your hats or caps and please stand if you're able for the national anthem of our host nation here in Spain.
Can I just suggest that you take a quick look at our 35 drivers, shoes, gloves and caps? Just take a quick look over there. Now, you may remember that in 2022, we showed some lovely racing overalls imagined by Dior Men's artistic director, Kim Jones, for Gran Turismo 7. Well, Dior's collaboration with Gran Turismo continues, and our drivers are kitted out with new driving gloves featuring the number 47 as a tribute to Christian Dior's first show in 1947. Now, as well as the gloves, they have some pretty cool special Dior racing shoes and a cap too. Now, I like the looks of this. Now, is anyone here a size 5? So, you know, maybe a 37 euro? Because, yeah, I might have that.
Well, the Nations Cup this year is gonna be tough.
Intense, top-level drivers.
Magic.
挑戦. Be great.
Oh no!
Unpredictable.
It's the hardest competition. Our lap's over.
We have to really be patient. Really bad. You have to also think about the other guys' plans.
It's a drag race down to the next corner.
Mezclar esa agresividad con cabeza.
Well, if that hasn't got you pumped up, I don't quite know what will. It is time for the Nations Cup finals to take place here tonight in Barcelona. Very much looking forward to this. And without further ado, let's kick things off and have a look at what happened in qualifying, which took place earlier on today. This decides the grid for the first race and also, crucially, gave car selection opportunities as well. You can see the drivers in the BVLGARI Vision Gran Turismo car. It was a one-lap dash attack qualifying session. This was Team France going fastest on their one and only flying lap with Kylian Drumont at the helm here, JB.
You're not a bad lap there from Kylian Drumont, but Valerio Gallo for Team Italy would go just a little bit faster, a 204.5 there from the Italian driver. Pole at the time, but would it be enough for pole overall?
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Team Spain have always been on the charge, and especially with their driver lineup over the course of this weekend, you can't count out Jose Serrano. Top of the order as they take pole position ahead of the first race. So here is how the grid will line up for race one. Jose Serrano for Spain takes pole position, then Italy with Valerio Gallo in second, Drummond at the head of the second row, then Carrazza for Brazil, the USA in fifth ahead of Japan, Belgium, Canada, Chile, the Netherlands, Malaysia, and then New Zealand down there in 12th place. A lot of work for the Kiwis to do, but very keen to see how this is going to work out. Now, as you saw, of course, we unveiled a BVLGARI Vision Gran Turismo car, and we also saw glimpses of the special limited edition watch. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome Antoine Payne to the stage to present the watch to the fastest qualifier, Jose Serrano of Team Spain. Antoine Payne is the BVLGARI Watch's managing director. And as he joins us on the stage here in Barcelona, some facts about the BVLGARI watch. It's a limited edition to just 1,700 pieces worldwide, two different designs, one of 1,200 pieces, the other of 500. It is on sale as of today. And some special features about it. You can see that the Gran Turismo typeface is used for the dial numbers, and the Vision Gran Turismo 10th anniversary engraving is also on the backplate of that watch. It is an absolutely spectacular timepiece, and Jose Serrano gets to take it home with him.
I'm still waiting for ours, Tom. What's going on there?
Wishful thinking, I think that one, JP.
I think it is, mate. I think it is.
Yeah, absolutely spectacular watch and timepiece. You can see the two different designs there, one with a black face to it, this one with the yellow face to it. This yellow face one is actually the more limited edition timepiece of the two. This one just 500 of them, and as I said, on sale as of today, but it's only available in a very, very limited window. You've got just 24 hours to go and bag yourself one of those limited edition BVLGARI Vision Gran Turismo watches, so you better be quick.
Yeah, if you're a collector, I think this is now your time to pounce. But yeah, no watches for us still, unfortunately, but yeah, looks awesome.
Absolutely. Well, let's have a look then, shall we, at the cars for race one of the Nations Cup here tonight. So, as we know, depending on who qualified where, that was the selection that they got of those different machines. So, Spain qualified on pole position. They went with the BMW M3 Coupe. You've got the likes of Italy. They were second quickest, the Lexus LFA for them. France, third fastest on the grid, the Ford GT in the mix there. Any particular cars that take your fancy, Jimmy?
Well, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't rooting for Team Brazil in the Supra.
I knew that was coming.
Had to be. But here's your starting grid, of course, based on the qualifying you saw earlier. Paul Euro will be starting in the car ahead of Giorgio Mangolo for Team France. Kylian Drummond, Team France in P3. Then Lucas Bonelli for Brazil in fourth, and Roach, of course, fifth. Kobayashi sixth for Team Japan.
Yeah, really looking forward to seeing how these drivers are going to fare. And of course, you will see different drivers compared to what we had in qualifying. Just because a different driver qualified doesn't mean they are duty-bound to start that first race. They can select another driver from their team. But of course, each driver must do at least one of the three races. And then we've got all three of them in their teams, respectively, going head-to-head with the other teams in the grand final here tonight. Now, let's have a look at the track details for race one. Production cars, as we saw, sports medium tyres at the trial mountain circuit. 5 laps, no need to worry about fuel or tyre wear or anything like that. It's going to be pretty exciting because trial mountain always throws up good racing.
Yeah, and of course, we've got that massive main straight there now, which gives us a good long braking zone into T1. A good overtake opportunity into T14 as well. We saw a lot of that in previous World Tour events, of course, the production car class being used with those Michelin Sport medium tyres. Only a 5-lap race, though, so it's going to be a bit of a frenetic sprint here. And, of course, given that we are in different cars today, maybe different strengths and different weaknesses over different parts of the circuit to look out for as well.
I think that's the crucial thing, isn't it, is that obviously these teams have had to select those different cars, but as you say, they're going to be faster at different points over the course of the lap. One might be quicker in a straight line, one might have more mechanical grip. What's going to happen? Let's find out, shall we? Without further ado, let's get ourselves into race one of the Nations Cup Grand Finals here tonight. Well, we are ready to go for the first Nations Cup race of the evening. We are, of course, live in 7 different languages as well. Here are our Italian commentators. You just saw the Portuguese and the Japanese as well. We've got the Spaniards, the French, the Germans, and, of course, us here in the British box as well. Very much looking forward to seeing how the field are going to get on here tonight. And without further ado, let's have a look at the grid for this first race. It is Team Spain, Paul Euro, starting this one on pole position. Italy with Giorgio Mangolo at the helm in second place, with France and Kylian Drummond taking to the wheel in third position. The Toyota Supra for Team Brazil in fourth place. Ahead of the USA, they've gone for the Mercedes-Benz McLaren SLR. Japan with Rikuto Kobayashi. They're a driver down. Sasaki not able to make it here. Belgium, Guillaume Defro with Canada's Mark Benell taking to the Ferrari F40. Ninth place is the returning Angel Estrada for Chile in the Honda NSX. Then you've got Team Netherlands with Kai de Bruyne. Malaysia with Taj Ayman in 11th position. And then 12th and last on the grid, it is Cy Bishop for New Zealand in the Mazda RX-7. So 5 laps of action. Of course, this will not only determine the grid for race 2, but also, crucially, is the first opportunity to score points. 12 as the maximum available here in this race. 3 races of the same points order, and then for the grand final, as ever, it's double points.
Yeah, we've seen that points matter in this competition. Of course, sounds like a silly thing to say, but any points you carry into the world final drastically increases your chances of having a good result, of course, in the grand final, and to your grid position too. So it's always worth trying to push in this race. So lots of different cars might make some manufacturers rounding around this last corner. Team Spain leading off for Team Italy. Big home crowd here today, massive support. We can barely hear ourselves over them, so looking forward to seeing how they perform here tonight.
Well, there we can see the Brazilian driver just watching on. Lucas Pinelli, that is, at the wheel. They start from 4th position. Let's get ready then to get the Nations Cup underway for the Gran Turismo World Finals here in Barcelona. It's lights out and we're racing as Team Spain lead the field across the line, followed by Italy, followed by France and Brazil as we head down in through the first corner. It's a very fast and flowing first couple of turns here at Trial Mountain, so don't expect any rash moves, but as the field begins to bunch up in that technical second sector, that's where we can see the field beginning to make some overtaking moves. Italy closing up onto the back of Spain as we come over the crest of the hill, through the left-hander and into the tunnel for the first time. Keep an eye out for France, Kylian Drumont at the wheel, in the background in that Ford GT. But Spain and Paul Ura having a good start to this race so far, leading the way as they intended to do so.
The Kobayashi having a good start as well for Japan in that Lamborghini up to P5, managing to jump Team USA. Of course, that squabbling, though, has meant a little bit of a gap has opened up between 4th and 5th position. Still, Team Spain and Paul Ura leading some to the back straight. Now, let's see which car has the legs here. Here's where horsepower matters. You see straight away Team Italy going defensive in the LFA. That V10 engine bringing out through the tunnel here at Trial Mountain, coming down towards the first big braking zone and the first big overtaking opportunity. Doesn't seem that they're close enough right now, though. Team Italy, I should say, in the LFA, driving by Spain, as does Team France then into the braking zone. Spain on the inside at the moment, retaking that second position, but Italy hanging it around the outside. Can they keep there? Can they keep the lead for now? Team Spain side by side up towards the hairpin. Italy do have the inside line, though, and Spain retain the lead only just. They all end up where they started.
And look at who is in the background lurking there. It's Lucas Pinelli in the Toyota Supra.
Supra, babe. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, the Supra there in 4th position. Just behind there, you've got Japan as well. So it's gone from a 3-way scrap to a 4-way tussle here. And as we come down in towards the final chicane, this corner was redesigned for Gran Turismo 7. We flick it through the left, slightly deep there for Paul Ura of Spain. Has he done that intentionally to try and block any attack from Team Italy and get as good an exit as he possibly can? Malaysia, New Zealand under investigation as we come towards the end of the first lap. It's as you were at the sharp end of the field, but France and Kylian Drumont trying to mount a challenge on the back of Italy as we come down the start-finish straight and into the first corner. No way through for them at the moment, but Spain now coming to pressure from Italy in the Lexus LFA as they look towards the outside, but again, no opportunity for them to find a way through.
So that BMW is fairly quick over 1 lap, but you see suffering a little bit down the straights compared to some of the cars behind. Team Brazil and the Supra guard the inside there. That's Benelli making a move on Kylian Drumont, who we know is very fast around this circuit. So Brazil up to P3 for now. In the background, you can see the Lamborghini of Kobayashi sniffing as well, trying to find a place against that GT. We're still looking back from the BMW of Paul Ura and Team Spain at the moment. Italy very close, though, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see it move on this straight here. I think the LFA's got a little bit more straight line speed than the BMW M3 that we're on board with.
Let's have a look then and see what happens as we come down this straight. Of course, Spain don't have the hole being punched in the air in front of them. Italy do. Look at the overspeed. Pulling to the inside here is Giorgio Mangano. He's going to be able to make this move stick. In the background, France and Brazil were pretty close to one another as well. So Italy do go back through into the race lead. Keep an eye out as well. Japan looking to the outside in their Lamborghini Diablo. We're 3 abreast. Down into the left-hander. Brazil on the inside. France in the middle. Bit of hip and shoulder with Japan on the outside of that corner. Not too much to worry about. about. Brazil still holding on to third, but for how long? Because the Ford GT there of France trying to pick their pocket as they come over the crest in towards the final sector. Japan with box office seats watching this view unfolding behind them, and what it has done is allowed the top two of Italy and Spain, that's Mangano and Ura, to break away just by a few tenths of a second.
Yeah, but Benelli did well there to actually catch that Toyota Supra through the hairpin. He went in far too quickly, got a lot of oversteer, and just about corrected. Because of that, now Kobayashi is through and up into P4 in the Lamborghini Diablo. This is the sort of race that got me into Gran Turismo, Tom. Seeing all these different car makes there, fighting on circuit and being balanced is just awesome viewing. And now the LFA from BMW, Italy from Spain, as we come through the first sequence of corners in the background. Kylian Drumont needs to go defensive, but it seems it's not quite enough as Team Japan in the Lamborghini Diablo in that lime green up into third position for now, but on the outside for the left-hander, and France back up into third.
He's in a really unfortunate position here, is Rikuto Kobayashi, trying to attack and defend, and keep an eye out as well. The Jaws music is playing for these drivers because Kalen Roach in the McLaren Mercedes SLR is ready to try and join in on the X as well. He is side by side with the Brazilian Lucas Benelli as they come through into the right-hander. They're going to be on the outside line, just a bit of a slight tap of the wall there. That might cost them a little bit of drive, and indeed it does. Bit of a wiggle of the hips there for Benelli, as well as he manages to get himself back up into fifth position. And also not far away is Belgium, Keanu Defro as well. So let's see how this is going to work out. What a hugely exciting start to the race. But now look at the top two here, Jimmy. They've got some 2.5 seconds over France, Japan, Brazil, who are all involved in their own battle.
Yeah, this is great for these two. Japan and France changing places once again. So Team Japan in that Diablo up past the Ford GT of Team France. Kobayashi at the wheel, Kylian Drumont behind. Big dive up the inside for Benelli there in the Supra, and almost followed through by Roche behind. There's contact between the three of them there. The GT of France manages to stay ahead. Here comes Team Japan on the inside. It's a carbon copy of the last lap. Supra stuck on the outside. Team Japan will stay on the inside. Kobayashi there positioning the car very well. And that's given a bit of breathing room now to Kylian Drumont and Team France. But at the head of the field, it's Giorgio Mangano from Pol Ura, and this is a great performance so far from Mangano. Of course, he was our first ever winner of any of these live events back in 2018 at the Nürburgring, and since then it's been a bit of a dry streak, but great to see him doing well again.
Yeah, it really is good to see the Italian up the sharp end. Not going so well on the other side of the coin for Kai de Bruyne for the Netherlands. Started in 10th place, they've dropped down to 12th. They've also managed to pick up a penalty there as well. Rikuto Kobayashi, we're just looking at here in 4th position, the Japanese Formula 4 champion this year. That is exactly the same series that Yuki Tsunoda won. He, of course, has gone on to race for AlphaTauri in Formula 1. So who knows, maybe we'll see Rikuto in a Formula 1 car in the not-too-distant future. Meanwhile, back at the sharp end of the field, Italy versus Spain as we come through on towards this back straight. Now let's see what the legs of that E92 V8 BMW are going to be. Just a couple of corners left to go. We ride on board here with Pol Ura. A bit of a slip and a slide through the right-hander. Pol, of course, won the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup here on Friday as part of the World Finals, and he'll be riding a crest of a wave of confidence coming through here.
Will be that LFA looks a little bit out of shape to me there going into the tunnel, Tom, but still manages to pull away. And of course, Pol Ura has the advantage that no other driver has in this race, having the home crowd behind him. That's got to be worth at least a couple of tenths of a second, as now Spain latch on to the back of Italy. Mangano in the LFA in front, shrieking through the tunnel down towards this long left-hander, loads of camber. They're going to dive to the inside where the camber is the greatest. It hooks the car in and helps you rotate. And Spain not quite close enough for a move now, but I get the impression that maybe Pol Ura had a bit of a dry run there. Thought, okay, I think I can catch him if I'm in this position on the next lap. And if he can overtake him there, then it really limits how much of a response Giorgio Mangano can give. So really, it's a high-speed chess match here, as always, in the World Finals.
A little bit further back, Belgium and Chile have just exchanged places for 7th position. They're under investigation, though, for a little bit of a collision. We're already able to begin the final lap in just a couple of corners' time. This race has absolutely flown by. Of course, don't forget, points will be on offer. There'll be a maximum of 12 going to the winner in this race. Look at that from Pol Ura. He's trying to set this one up to get as good an exit as he possibly can through this final turn. I don't think it's going to be anything to challenge down in towards the first corner as we ride on board here with the 18-year-old Spaniard. He came straight from university to here on Friday and then managed to clean up in the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup as Belgium do indeed pick up a penalty. But Pol will be back to uni, I'm sure, tomorrow morning here, and I wonder whether he'll have another success to discuss with his classmates. Through the left-hander we go and into the tunnel for the final time. What do you think is going to be going through the mind of Pol Ura? When's he going to be setting this up? For me, it's got to be the end of the back straight.
Yeah, I think so too. And of course, bear in mind, this race is worth points and position in the next race, the Grand Final. So very important to do well here. Set yourself up nicely for the big event coming just after this race. So we're going to the tunnel for the last time. Italy, Giorgio Mangano in the yellow LFA in front. Behind, Pol Ura for Spain in the BMW M3. One last drag race. Now they are fairly close, 4/10 of a second, but is that close enough for a move down towards this last corner?
Well, France and Japan and Brazil are not too far away from one another for that final podium position. Let's have a look and see what Spain can do. Italy taking the defensive line as they come through the tunnel and emerge into the daylight. Side by side we go into the left-hander. The crowd are going to go absolutely mad if Spain win this one, but Italy and Giorgio Mangano not giving this one up. They're slightly deep though. Spain and Ura are going to get the switch back on the inside here. Can they hold that though to the line as we come down through the final couple of corners? Greatly timed move there from Pol Ura, driving for the win and 12 points in the opening race of the evening here in the Nations Cup. Behind Japan, France and Brazil lining astern as well. We come through the final series of corners and I think Pol Ura has got this one in the bag if he's able to keep as it is. He's got just a few tenths of a second over Mangano and Italy as they head through into the final chicane. So barring any mistakes from the young Spaniard, it is going to be first blood to Pol Ura and to Team Spain here at Trial Mountain for Nations Cup. Race 1, they take 12 points and of course pole position for race 2. Team Spain taking the honours here for the opening race of the evening. Italy finishing in second place with Giorgio Mangano at the wheel and Rakuto Kobayashi 3 places up from where they started in third position, the final spot on the podium ahead of France and Brazil, who complete the top 5. But a really exciting first race there, and Team Spain starting exactly as they mean to go on.
Yeah, proper statement of intent there for Pol Ura and Team Spain. Of course, the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup winner on Friday. Incredibly fast yesterday as well in the Manufacturer Series, and now, of course, here in the Nations, just showing how talented he is. Great drive as well for Kobayashi for Japan, of course. Up 4 places, up to P3 in the end there. So great result from him, of course, in Italy in second place with Giorgio Mangano.
Yeah, hugely exciting stuff from our drivers. Let's have a look at some highlights then, shall we, from that race. So, Team Spain, Pol Ura started this one on pole position, followed by Italy, France, Brazil and the USA. That was your top 5 as the race began. Didn't take long for things to kick off though. Brazil and France having a little bit of contact at the start of the second lap, and that allowed Japan to come into play there as well. You wonder whether the USA and that McLaren Mercedes SLR might try and have a little nibble, but they were just a little bit too far away right when it mattered. But Rakuto Kobayashi, some fantastic racecraft, exactly what you'd expect from the Japanese Formula 4 champion.
Yeah, exactly, and that fight went on for pretty much the entire race. You see their Supra on Diablo, only in Gran Turismo can you see that sort of action. Here was the overtake for the lead on the last lap from Team Spain. Pol Ura going the long way around the outside. Giorgio Mangano trying to come back at him on the inside, but just overshot the braking zone ever so slightly. Pol Ura says, thank you very much, mate. I'll take that. Up into the lead, where he would stay until the end of the race.
Brilliant drive from Pol Ura and from Team Spain. A maximum of 12 points on offer then in that race, and that is exactly what Team Spain have taken. 2 more races to go with the same points tally. Then, of course, we have got the Grand Final, which will be double points. Let's head down to Julia, who is on the floor. She's catching up with our winner from race 1, Pol Ura.
Well, my goodness, what a drive! Let's hear it! Are you having a nice time this weekend? You're having a nice time, right? I mean, okay, how concerned were you when Giorgio came and took pole position? Were you worried? You were like, okay, this is cool, I'm just going to hang out, and then I'm just going to take it back. I'm fine.
No, I think everything this weekend is looking less concerning than it actually looks, you know?
Yeah?
But yeah, it was good, it was good.
And obviously, you know, you were kind of keeping your cool, and everyone else sort of like dropped back a little bit. But it was really just between you guys.
Yeah. As soon as I saw at least that Japan and France were battling, I thought, okay, this is my time to stay here behind Italy. I won't attack them, just to escape together. And my plan was to attack in the final lap. and escaping the third sector where he was seeing that I was getting very close to the Lexus, so where I could really escape after overtaking, and it worked pretty well.
So the plan worked. Your strategy worked. Well, is there anything you want to say to the crowd? I mean, you heard it at the end. That was pretty amazing as you were overtaking, right?
Gracias a tothom!
Well, congratulations. And yeah, we're going to chuck it back to Tom and Jimmy to get race 2 underway.
I am loving the passion of the crowd here in Barcelona tonight. Only in Spain would you get something like that.
I didn't hear them. There you go. These things are great.
Yeah, they're not bad, are they? What a fantastic first race. Let's have a look, shall we? Just confirm those results from the opening race of the evening in the Nations Cup. I'll get the teeth back in eventually. Pole Euro and Team Spain taking a maximum of 12 points from Giorgio Mangano and Rakuto Kobayashi. Kilian Drumont, Lucas Pinelli in the top 5. Kalen Roach for the USA in 6th place ahead of Inestrosa for Chile. Then Defro, Pinel, Bishop, Iman and Kai de Brunt completing the honours there. So only two nations who failed to score points on the opening race there tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. It's only top 10 score points here, of course, and that will go on into our next race as well. And something we should probably address. One of the drivers, of course, Chilean driver Angel Inestrosa. He was missing from Amsterdam due to a real-life injury, which was we had us all very worried here, of course. He's back now with us here. And I'm so happy that he's back and competing again, Tom.
Yeah, exactly. It's really, really good to see Angel Inestrosa back here. I'm sure that the whole of the Gran Turismo family shares the sentiments that we're really, really glad to see him here at the World Finals. And I actually managed to catch up with him and take him to see some sights around Barcelona a few days ago to catch up with him and find out exactly what the extent of his injuries were and how he's been recovering and also preparing for these World Finals tonight here in Barcelona.
Hey man, how you going?
Fine, you?
Yeah, all good.
What are you doing here?
Ah, nothing.
Okay, then what are we doing tonight?
Well, I'll be your driver for tonight. I'm going to show you around Barcelona. I lived here for a couple of years, so do you fancy going and see some sights?
Yeah, for sure. Let's go.
Let's go for a drive, my guy.
Let's go.
The GR86. Have you been in one of these before?
No, never.
And I don't know how much the excess is on the insurance, but I don't want to find out. So, you had an accident. How long ago now?
It's been 4 months since the accident. Actually, driving a motorbike. Yeah, I literally flew through the air. I'm limping, but could have been a lot worse. I think I really got lucky.
Not many people would say I got lucky after that. How is... Oh, goodness, because I nearly crashed. And how has what happened to you affected your preparation for this event?
It affected a lot. I couldn't do anything with my leg for the first 3 months. I had to modify my rig at home. I don't have the same range of movement, so I had to change the pedal angle. The response of the foot is not the same. The whole thing I've achieved in these 4 years, it's been really amazing. Being able to compete at the top level, that gave me the strength to get back here as fast as I could.
Is there a car coming that way?
Okay,
all good.
All good.
Gracias.
I got... De nada.
Where would you say that's where I'm strongest?
Consistency.
Consistency?
Yes.
That's the mark of a great racing driver though, isn't it?
If you are consistent but not fast, you're getting nowhere, you know. I hope that I can keep going with sim racing for many years, as much as I can.
What's this guy doing?
Oh.
Whoa, mamma mia.
I would feel like at home, you know?
Yeah. I'm just grateful that I didn't go sideways with you in it because I don't want to cause you another injury.
You can go sideways if you want.
Right, well, there we go, my guy. We have arrived for you.
Okay, perfect.
That's 20 quid extra for that, yeah?
Okay.
Hey, it's such a pleasure. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, man.
After you.
Well, great to see Angel Inestrosa back for the Gran Turismo World Finals here tonight. Fantastic, great reception from the crowd, and it was really, really good actually to catch up with him there, Jimmy, as well, just to see exactly sort of what he's gone through and the mental strength of him has been fantastic as well, to be able to bounce back so quickly.
I think recovering something like that, of course, with a leg injury as well, which directly affects, as you said, his range of movement and the sensitivity as well. And he's still here, he's still qualified, and he's still got the pace. So, I mean, it just goes to show, you know, just how strong his character is. And obviously, missing him kind of good luck tonight, but we can't be biased.
No, absolutely not. Let's have a look, shall we, at the starting grid then for race 2. So, more drivers, of course, for different teams. Now, Spain have got Jose Serrano at the helm with Marco Busnelli. Then you've got Suzuki, Beauvoir, Fraga for Japan, France and Brazil, respectively. The USA with Donovan Parker. Then Chile have got Portilla, Baccalieri with Belgium. Then Jeffrey for Canada, McEwen for New Zealand, Weakness Warren for Malaysia, and Floris Zimmerman for Team Netherlands. And we've changed the order up a bit. No more production cars. The Honda RA272, a proper Grand Prix race car around a proper Grand Prix racetrack, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's right, of course. 60s F1 car around one of the most historic circuits in the US. Watkins Glen, an awesome track in 2 parts, of course, running the boot layout, and with that slipstream as well, really helps for some nice overtaking opportunities. I've got to say, we've seen this car, of course, in the white Honda livery, but seeing it with the Spanish flag on it, it looks like it belongs. It looks good.
It does, yeah. I have to say the team at Polyphony Digital spent an aging amount of time to get that car looking as good as they possibly can, you know, to make sure the liveries fit the different designs of it. And as you say, it does look spectacular. I'm just looking forward to seeing what the other nations are going to look like, if that's the only one that we've seen so far.
I mean, it's going to be some pretty frantic racing. We've seen some of the historic star racing before, and it's always who can adapt the quickest. And that, of course, is coming into the driver selection as well. You probably go to your historic car specialist for this round. So looking forward to seeing how the guys get on.
Well, let's see what is going to happen then. We are ready to go for race 2 of the Nations Cup. It's Watkins Glen in the Honda RA272. Well, the crowd applauding Jose Serrano here tonight. Let's see what is going to happen for the second race of the evening. First blood, of course, going to Spain. And are they going to be able to make it a double? There is Baptiste Beauvoir, has been feeling quite under the weather coming in to this one. And what about Igor Fraga as well? He knows a thing or two about racing a single-seater. This year he's been in Super Formula. Let's see whether we're going to have the Brazilian at the sharp end from 5th on the grid. And here is how it lines up then. It's Jose Serrano for Team Spain who will take from off from pole position, with Marco Busnelli from Italy in 2nd place. Japan with Seiya Suzuki 3rd on the grid. Next up, Team France, Baptiste Beauvoir. Next up, we have Team Brazil, as I mentioned, Igor Fraga, single-seater specialist. He's got the USA's Donovan Parker for company on that 3rd row. Row 4 is headed by Fabian Portilla, the Chilean. Next up is Team Belgium with Baccalieri. Next up, 9th on the grid, Trent Jeffrey, just a stone throw away over in Canada, with New Zealand's Matt McEwen at the wheel. 11th on the grid is Danny Weakness-Warren for Team Malaysia. And work to do for the Netherlands. Floris Zimmerman will be hoping that they finish further up than where they are starting. Once again, Jimmy, a 5-lap race for this one. What are we expecting here?
Well, I think a little bit of a slipstream battle at first. We've got a very long run down to the first chicane after the start-finish line. And it's a very good place to overtake if you're far enough alongside. If you're not, that chicane is very quick, and it can lead to quite a big accident if you're not careful. I've got to say, Tom, looking through the field, I think the Malaysian livery is probably my favourite out of a lot of them there. You see the drivers, one last little bit of preparation, that massive live audience sitting behind them here at Barcelona. Live point rankings right now, of course. So Spain and currently from Italy and from Japan, all to play for in this race 2 in the World Finals.
Well, there is Matt McEwen for Team New Zealand. 10th on the grid is where they start. They were 11th in the World Series Showdown a few months ago in Amsterdam. Will they be able to improve on that position and get some more points on the board? Danny Weakness-Warren for Team Malaysia, 11th on the grid also. But it is Team Spain and Jose Serrano who will start this race from pole position. Race 2 of the Nations Cup Grand Finals here in Barcelona is underway at Watkins Glen as the field heads down towards the first corner. So, Spain from Italy, from Japan. No downforce, of course, on these cars. Expect them to be sliding their way through a few of these turns, and it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt to this at the fast and flowing Watkins Glen circuit. It is a spectacular Grand Prix track. It was on the Formula 1 calendar through the 60s and into the 70s. Now, let's see whether we will have some great Grand Prix racing here. Spain leading the way from Italy as we head towards the bus stop for the first time, but Italy looking to try and challenge already as we go side by side. Spain and Serrano just covering off Bustinelli's challenge for now.
That's what I meant, just sort of maybe thinking the better of it for now. It would have been a late lunge, would have been quite a big accident there. Spain did have the trap position, but we now go on board in this awesome Honda. It's awesome to have these cars represented as we go. Oh, big lunge there by Bustinelli. I was just saying, I'm going to go, oh, and Spain.
They're off.
Spain in the wall. Spain have been shunted off there in the barrier, Tom, down to P7, much to the dismay of the home audience there. And I think that maybe Marco Bustinelli just became the most unpopular person in this room.
Well, I don't think it was intentional, but either way, they may be a slap on the wrist. And you see under investigation already. Well, that was Spain without the S for Jose Serrano, I'm afraid to say, as they drop down to 8th position and now have a heck of a lot of work to do. Let's have another look and see if we can piece together exactly what happened. So Spain in front, Italy looking for the inside line as we come through into this left-hander. Yep, contact front right into rear left, straight off into the barrier on the outside, dropping behind the rest of the field. And now all of that hard work that we saw from Spain in that first race from Pole Euro has got to be all done again by Jose Serrano.
So yeah, good recovery there by Serrano. As you say, I don't think it was intentional, just maybe a little bit too late on the brakes there for Bustinelli, and then into Serrano. Meanwhile, behind, it's frantic, though, for second place. Team Japan leading with Suzuki at the helm of the field. Fraga looking up the inside now. Baptiste Beauvoir thinks better of it. And France, oh my word. Whoa! Oh, he's messed it up on his own. He's sent it off the course there. Too late on the brakes. The car spun. He took somebody else with him there as well.
4-second penalty for Italy. That is a huge penalty. I mean, let's be honest. We saw penalties yesterday, and we heard drivers saying they were too lenient. We want harsher penalties. You've got a harsher penalty, 4 seconds. I know that some people will say, well, that was unfair and the punishment doesn't fit the crime. That's what the stewards have awarded it. Let's have another look at down towards that first corner. Keep an eye out for France. On the inside is Brazil. Behind the wheel of that French car at the moment is... oh, look at that, just going through, sliding the rear by Chile as well there, sliding and lighting up the rear tyres, and France now dropping down into 8th position. So a lot of work now for Kylian Drumont to do.
So Team Chile now, yeah, Fabien Portier up into P3, so they're going to be P2 after this, because this 4-second penalty, where's that going to put him? Where's that going to put him? Right at the back of the field, because it's not just 4 seconds taken out of your time, you are on the brakes for 4 seconds to get down to pretty much a pit lane speed limit, and then you have to wait for that to elapse, and then you can get going again. So here we go, on the brakes. This will feel like an absolute eternity for Bustinelli. Through goes Varga, through goes Suzuki, through goes Portier as well. Fred Jeffrey up into P4 there for Team Canada. And Italy will be just behind there. Jose Serrano. Serrano's probably thinking, oh no, come on, mate. Take it easy.
Just if I may correct myself earlier on, I said that it's Kylian Drumont behind the wheel of the French car. It's actually Baptiste Beauvoir who is at the helm of that machine, sitting in 8th position. So now we've got France, Italy and Spain all on the recovery, all out of position from where they started. It's a smile from ear to ear for the likes of Chile, for the likes of Brazil, and also Canada now in this race, all inside the top 4 as it stands, and it's completely changed the complexion of the championship. I know we're only a couple of races in, and there's still plenty of this race left to run, but it's certainly a signal of intention. USA to the inside of Canada, down towards the first corner, side by side they go. USA holding firm there. Donovan Parker up the inside of Trent Jeffrey and through into 4th position. As we now look at Chile trying to close down the gap to Suzuki for Japan in front.
You see there a quote from Portier, who's driving right now, saying this is the hardest competition in GT. The highest level of drivers sit here, and you see that in the background there as USA defends from Team Canada. We're on board, we're with, Team Chile now. In the background again, Canada and USA side by side through there, just about keeping it together. Team Chile, I mean, this is probably not where they expected to be coming into this race, but of course we saw Serrano hit off earlier on by Team Italy, who then served their penalty. They're down in P8 now, and Brazil and Igor Fraga. Fraga's where he wants to be at the moment. He likes to lead a race, does Igor Fraga. He's done it a lot. He knows exactly what he needs to do. And right now the gap is 1.3 seconds back to Suzuki for Team Japan. Meanwhile, Serrano on his recovery drive is now past Team USA as they make a mistake coming through the boot. We now have a small straight into a downhill right-hander. Easy swap ends here. Team USA and Spain having a drag race. Can Serrano get by and keep the place? He does. Team USA out wide, just trying to keep the place. And Serrano on a fantastic recovery now. It's now on the back of Team Canada.
Or USA and France are side by side there in the background for 6th position as well. America back up through into 6th place, on board with Spain, who look at Canada in front of them. Serrano behind the wheel, Trent Jeffrey behind the wheel of the Canadian car in 4th position. This is crucial for their points tally. Just to mention, of course, and remind you, a slight wheel onto the grass on the outside there for Serrano, but 12 points the maximum that's on offer. The same points tally for the first 3 races. Then we go to double points for the grand final, which, as we know, can change the complexion. Look in the mirror of Team Spain, who's lurking. It's Donovan Parker, who tries to have a look on the inside. Bit of a wiggle of the hips there again for Jose Serrano, who goes slightly wide on the exit of the first corner. Baptiste Beauvoir also onto the outside of the curb. Team Radio.
Shoot, Spain's gonna get me.
That's Trent Jeffrey. USA versus France are going side by side. Keep an eye out for Italy lurking in the background there as well. We're going to head towards the bus stop. This is an overtaking opportunity as we're going to head side by side with the USA versus Italy. France are ahead and through into 6th place. Italy up into 7th position, slightly wide in the first part of the corner. That might put them out of sequence for the second part of the bus stop and leave them under attack from the USA, who in turn need to watch their mirrors because New Zealand are ready to try and join in on the action here. Live points rankings for the first time. Brazil would have 18 points and be tied with Japan and Spain in the top 3.
There you go. How's that for close? If the race ended as it was, these 3 teams would all be tied going into the next race. So, Jose Serrano doing his best to come back through the field. Trent Jeffrey, though, putting up a fantastic fight. +5 for Team Canada in this race so far. They started P9. It really does feel like this could be anyone's series here. So, up the inside looks Jose Serrano, gets the move done. Jose Serrano up to 4th place. Big cheer from a live audience here in Barcelona. And now he sets his sight on Team Chile in front. Do we think he can get back onto the podium? It's going to be a tall ask. We're on the penultimate lap now with Igor Fraga at the front. But we've seen people make mistakes on their own here. It is possible, so they need to really make sure they keep it nice and clean and tidy and focus on that first.
Jose Serrano, great under pressure, is the Spanish driver, but for that mistake we saw in the first lap, he has driven very well to recover so brilliantly. Now you can see the live points rankings as Spain elevated up into 4th position. They would have a 1-point advantage over Brazil and Japan coming into the 3rd race. So down the start-finish straight we go, in towards turn 1 for the final time. Wider line on the exit of the first turn. The stewards don't mind that. That's just the normal racing line here at Watkins Glen. Keep an eye out as well for the likes of Canada, with France all over their rear bumper. Igor Fraga, I mentioned at the start of this race, a single-seater specialist. I know that there were instances in front which helped him elevate up the order, but once again, he's out in front, and that's exactly what he loves to do. He has been infallible in this race.
There have been instances in front, but he is the fastest driver on track at the moment, so he also holds the fastest
look at
lap.
this.
Well, there we go.
Contact there. France with Canada going side by side. Italy and the USA ready to try and pick their pocket. Through the outside of the bus stop we go into the right-hander. Italy in 5th, Canada on the inside for 6th. USA trying to challenge in 7th place. France and New Zealand there ready to try and join in the party as well. France going to the inside, the USA on the outside here. They want a top 5. They want as maximum points as they possibly can. Under investigation at Italy, France and Canada on this final lap for a collision there as well. And it looks like Italy are going to just about hold firm in 5th place for the time being.
Just about for now. Team Italy looking back now. This is going to be the last chance, really, for Canada to make a move. We're coming on to the last lap. Igor Fraga seemingly going to win it, but the fight for 5th is still raging as Team Canada. Trent Jeffrey looks up the inside, not quite close enough. Busnelli in 5th position, still holding on for now as Igor Fraga comes around the last couple of corners.
Team Radio.
Oh, don't you dare send it 3 wide here. Don't.
That's Trent Jeffrey there just saying don't send it 3 wide there. They want a nice calm end to this race. What a job though from Igor Fraga, the fastest man on track. Brazil bounces back in race 2 to take the checkered flag in the Nations Cup here at Watkins Glen. It's Igor Fraga and Brazil on top. 2nd place for Saya Suzuki and Team Japan. 3rd for Chile. 4th, a brilliant recovery for Spain ahead of Italy, Canada, France, New Zealand and the USA. Side by side for 10th with Malaysia and the Netherlands as well. Malaysia and Weakness Warren just getting the better of Floris Zimmerman, and a penny for the thoughts of Bachelieri, the Belgian driver, dropping down into 12th place at the checkered flag. But what a fantastic drive from Igor Fraga. And look at the Chileans as well. Just saw the team going over to talk to Fabian Portilla after a dramatic race for them. And this is going to be an advantage then of just 1 point going into this third race of the evening for the Nations Cup for Team Spain.
Well, that consistency of Igor Fraga there is what won him the race easily. There were events that happened, of course, but he would have been a 10th of a second over the last 3 laps. That's how close his times were. So the highlights, of course, of the race, this was the big one. Businelli going into the back of Jose Serrano, putting the pole sitter into the wall and down to 7th place on the first lap. Massive for that. And then, of course, it was this. Is Kylian Drumont getting it all kinds of wrong into T1. Off the course he goes, taking Team Japan with him at that point. And this is what gave Team Brazil the advantage.
Yeah, really sideways there. Just got a clip from Chile for good measure there too. Meanwhile, this was Japan versus Chile, and Chile having their own moment coming through into that left-hander. Japan picking their pocket and going up the inside. Meanwhile, Spain on the recovery after that first lap drama. Bit of contact there with the USA. That left them, in turn, under attack from France behind as well, with Baptiste Beauvoir at the wheel. This is Trent Jeffrey in 4th place, as we saw Serrano going through on his inside. A magnificent recovery, but what a drive from Igor Fraga and for Team Brazil. I know the incidents helped him get to the front, but he was able to stay there quite commandingly and pull out a gap over Japan, Chile, and the rest of them as they completed the podium. Spain in 4th, Italy 5th, Canada in 6th place. And this is what it meant for Igor Fraga. Let's go down to the floor. Jules is catching up with our winner for Team Brazil, Igor Fraga.
Igor, how do you feel for that 5th to 1st? That seemed very comfortable.
I mean, it wasn't that comfortable, but yeah, I just drove and then suddenly I was in P1.
You don't even know what your strategy was.
Yeah, I just drove. And then when I realized I was in P1, and then, you know, it was just about to break the draft from the Team Japan. So I tried to go as fast as possible, and I could manage to put a little bit more gap, and yeah, it was a good race.
Yeah, I mean, you increased the gap, you kept it really steady, you seemed like nice and calm. Yeah, it seemed okay.
Yeah, but this car was super tricky, and especially through the bus stop chicane, it's super hard because the car bounces a lot through the curb. So, you know, I was trying to nail it every time. And if you start to save there, you know the Japanese guys will be coming after you. Yeah.
Absolutely. So how do you feel now going into this third race? What do you think we got to do strategy?
Yeah, I feel kind of released a little bit because, you know,
you've done good.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good.
I could, you know, pass the bottom really well for my teammates. And yeah, there's going to be this race and then the finals.
Of course.
And on the finals, we don't know, like, you know, what's going to happen. So we have to stay focused and try to get good results.
Of course. Well, congratulations. Let's hear it for Igor Fraga, our race 2 winner. We're going to chuck it back to you, Tom and Jimmy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Jules, looking forward to seeing what is going to unfold in race 3 in a few moments' time. But let's just confirm those race 2 results from a few moments ago. Igor Fraga, 12 points for Team Brazil. Japan with 10 points in 2nd place, ahead of Chile in 3rd. Then Jose Serrano recovering to 4th position for Spain, ahead of Italy's Marco Businelli. Then Trent Jeffrey in 6th place. Beauvoir for France in 7th. And then you've got McEwen, Parker and Wigneswaran completing the order. No points, though, on the board for Zimmerman and Battalieri in that race. Now, here is what it looks in the overall rankings. After 2 races here tonight, you can see Spain 19 points, Brazil and Japan tied for 2nd on 18, Italy not far away, and Chile and France still very much within a shout.
Yeah, that is so close at the moment. We've got really 4 teams that are starting to make a small breakaway from the rest of the teams there, but in the grand final, that pretty much means whoever beats who is, well, going to beat the other one. That sounds like a very silly way of saying it, doesn't it? But yeah, double points really brings that together, so it's very close at the moment.
And now let's talk about the defining moment for Spain during that race, because it didn't go entirely their way in race 2 at Watkins Glen. As you can see, contact with Italy, front right to rear left on the opening lap. What do you make of that, JB? Do you think that 4-second penalty was fair?
I think you have to think about how that affected Spain's race there. I mean, 4 seconds is a very harsh penalty, but it did put him back to where Serrano was. It brought them back together to where they were before the incident. So in that respect, I think it was fair. But also, if you look at it, it was, I think, just an honest mistake from Businelli. These cars are very, very difficult to drive, even with the Michelin slick tyres, which is not what these cars run in periods. So, yeah, I think it's fair in the end.
Now, of course, for this year, we've got a new format for the Nations Cup, which we're absolutely loving, by the way, the team aspect. No longer is it an individual driver all going for their own glory. Now you've got to work as a team, as part of your own nation. Have a look at this VT as we find out exactly what it makes for teamwork to be the dream work.
one deep breath. Take one deep breath.
Prior to 2023, all Nations Cup championships were raced individually.
Starting in Amsterdam, the competition introduced a new format.
Now, we race as a team of 3.
It feels good to have teammates, being here to compete with everyone else.
Mic test.
Yep, you're good.
Mic check. Lenny. Check, check, check. You can hear me all right? I can hear you.
Radio comms play a huge part.
I'm excited to use team radios because it adds like another layer to the event.
I P21, okay, lap 21. Okay.
In terms of the strategy, I think it's going to be a good help.
We use radios in the actual race for really important stuff.
Who's behind me? Who's behind me?
Pushing the limits of the tires, the car, the fuel.
Tires New Zealand on.
Hard. The tires start struggling.
If the rain is coming, if the weather's gonna change.
Holy, this is slippery, man.
What can I do to catch up to them, pass them?
You can get up here.
Sometimes the scenarios that you don't predict.
Wow, okay, I have no power.
You have to think about also what the other guys are gonna do and try to find the best strategy.
We have to work together, strategize together, and make sure we don't make mistakes.
How aggressive is Kai normally? Does anyone know?
I wouldn't take any chances.
We had a lot of pressure in our shoulders because we just can't mess it up.
It's very, very intense. There's a lot of eyes on you.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure.
Let's get it.
Let's go, dude. Let's go.
This race is gonna be amazing, but at the same time, a big challenge. I just can't let the pressures take advantage of me.
I totally did not just slam into the wall for no reason.
Try not to embarrass yourself.
You
I don't know if that's legal.
We are more ready than ever for this World Final.
We are not favorites, but we can win for sure.
How you feeling?
Feels pretty good.
And when you put in a good performance, make your teammates proud, you make your country proud, it's fun.
Well, there you are. That's what it takes to make the team work, be the dream work. Jimmy, you can kind of relate to that, can't you? You've had to work as part of a team for your racing career this year. Can you relate to what they're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's super important to be very transparent with your team. You know, the ultimate goal is performance. So that sometimes means being honest with yourself, working out your strengths and weaknesses, and then discussing that with your teammates. But sometimes it means telling your teammates off when they're being a bit silly. So, yeah, it's definitely a team game.
Let's have a look, shall we, at race 3. Get ourselves straight into it. It's the last of the normal point-scoring races for this one. And it'll be Brazil that will start on pole position for Adriana Corazza, with Rikuta Kobayashi for Japan in second place and Harold Volston for Chile in third. Koke Lopez, former champion of 2022, of course, in fourth place ahead of another former champion, Valerio Gallo from 2021. He lines up for Team Italy in fifth. Then you've got Ethan Lim in sixth place for Canada, Le Boutelet for France in seventh place, New Zealand for England, then Pounder for the USA, and so on and so forth. Now, of course, we're here in Barcelona for the World Finals. Where else could we go for one of our races but the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia? It's only a stone throw away. And of course, it's the no chicane layout as well, the proper layout. We love this one. But interestingly, Jimmy, just to throw another curveball into the mix, a Peugeot 908 HDI.
Yeah, amazing car. Diesel as well, of course, little known fact. But we've been worried, I've said this a couple of times over the course of this weekend, that Catalonia might not produce good racing, but every race we've done on camera and off camera has just been simply fantastic. I've got no doubt it's going to be exactly the same today, especially with this Peugeot 908. If you're a fan of Le Mans, you're going to know this from, I think, 2010 and 2011, if my memory serves. Someone's going to correct me if it doesn't. Amazing downforce car, lots of power in a straight line as well. And round here, incredibly fast lap time. So it's going to be testing the Twitch reactions today, I think.
I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to get on then. Let's get ready, shall we, for race 3 of the Nations Cup for the Gran Turismo World Finals here in Barcelona. Once again, the applause of the crowd there. Koke Lopez it is for Team Spain, who will take to the helm. There is Valerio Gallo as well, two former champions to kick us off here tonight for the third race. The last of the normal point scoring ones, 12 on offer as a maximum here for this race, all the way down to 10th position. And here is how the grid will line up. Of course, it is a reflection on the results of race 1. So, Brazil have got pole position with Adriana Corazza at the helm. And then second place on the grid, it will be Rikuta Kobayashi. Let's see how he is going to fare. Of course, only 2 drivers for Team Japan in second place. Harold Velsen lining up at the head of the second row for Team Chile. And then Spain, Coque Lopez, the reigning champion. Italy, Valerio Gallo, 2021 champ. What can he do with Canada's Ethan Lim for company alongside? Team France, Thomas Leboutelet, fast driver. Let's see what he can achieve with Thomas England for Team New Zealand lining up 8th. The USA's Kevin Pounder lines up in 9th position, and completing the top 10 is Ivan Suji for Malaysia. The Netherlands, Rick Kevelan, great to see him back in the World Series. And completing the grid is Quintenya Hall for Team Belgium, who've had a bit of a dog stay at the office here so far tonight. So 7 laps of the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya in the Peugeot 908. The last of the normal point scoring races here tonight. Coming into this one, it's Brazil with the upper hand.
Yeah, of course. Now, points here scored in this race, which was carried over to the grand final, as well as the race results will determine the grid order for the grand final. So you could argue this is the most important of the 3 races we've had so far.
Well, let's see what happens. There is Kevin Pounder, Team USA, starting this one from 9th on the grid. Ethan Lim a little bit further up the order, P6 for the Canadian. There is Quintenya Hall, Belgium rather, I should say, needing a strong race to try and turn around their fortunes. It has been a challenging time for them in the Nations Cup World Finals here so far tonight, and this is going to be hugely exciting to see how it works out and changes the complexion of the championship before the grand final. It's Brazil from Japan, from Chile, as we get ready for the 3rd race of the Nations Cup for the World Finals here at the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. We go green flag racing, Brazil leading the field over the rise of the hill and down in towards the first corner from Japan, from Chile. Brazil already going for the defensive line. It's an incredibly long run in towards turn 1, but that's not stopping anybody behind from having a look for a position there on the inside. Brazil slightly wide there for Adriano Carrazza out of turn 2, but nothing really to worry about as they come up into turn 3 and turn 4. This is where the field should begin to bunch up and where we may see the first overtaking opportunities coming into play.
Some defensive driving in the background there from Team Canada on Team France, but just about keeping the place for now, as we now come round to one of the overtaking spots on this circuit, this hairpin downhill braking zone. Really careful down there though, otherwise the rear might end up overtaking the front, as Team France found out in the last race in the Hondas. Now we come through this midsection. Now with this Peugeot 908, there's a lot of downforce in this car, so following on very closely can be tricky, although Team Japan seemingly having no problem. Kobayashi all over the back of Adriano Carrazza, signaling his intentions earlier. Only a 7-lap race here, so it is a sprint, so getting the track position early is important. Team Chile defending and almost there, running into the back of Team Japan.
Yeah, they're slightly wide on the exit of turn 10 of Chile, but they managed to just hold on to track position. There's a sleeping policeman on the outside of that curb there, so they were just lucky enough to be able to hold firm in 3rd place for the time being. Keep an eye out for Italy and Valerio Gallo, 2 of the fastest drivers in the Nations Cup that we've seen, with 2 former champions in 4th and 5th place, and now Chile are under all sorts of pressure because Lopez is in the slipstream. He ducks to the outside but has to duck back into it because, of course, Chile have got the hole being punched in the air in front of them by Team Japan. It's a slipstream battle. Valerio Gallo looking to the outside. That's a lunge there from Coque Lopez on the inside to the first corner. Is Volson going to be able to hold firm? Keep an eye out for Canada in the background. They go side by side. Who through turn 3? On the inside is Italy. On the outside is Chile. Spain do go up into 3rd place, and it's all kicking off behind. Who's going to be last of the late breakers? Down in towards turn 4. We're side by side there. France versus Canada. Chile in the mix there as well. Great racing at the start of lap 2.
And France there in the background, pushed off on into the gravel. So things go from bad to worse for Team France. Thomas Leboutelet had the wheel on that car, but what a move from Coque Lopez. Talk about last of the late breakers. Just about got it by Italy, who overtook on the straight, and then up the inside of Chile as well, who are now down to P6. So it just shows you how frenetic this racing is. One little move, one little slip up, and you can just be shuffled down the field.
Belgium picking up a penalty for a collision on this lap as well. So they're in 7th place, and they've managed to make a good ascension through the field at the expense of the other incidents that have unfolded in front of them. But it's going to be a very detrimental penalty given how bunched up the grid is at this particular point. Canada and Chile under investigation there as well. So let's see what the outcome is of that as we come through the final corner. I have to say, I was expecting Adriano Carrazza to pull out a little bit more of an advantage over Kobayashi at the sharp end of this field, but despite having good pace, it's not quite enough to overhaul the Japanese driver in second. In the background, 3rd place is under threat there. Gallo just looking for a half look on the inside of the reigning champion Coque Lopez for Spain, but no room at the inn for now.
Yeah, two former champions, Nations Cup champions, no doubt, battling out for third and fourth place. Coque Lopez from Spain, Valerio Gallo from Italy. As we come now into T4 once again, there's a replay. This, I think, is what happened. This was the amazing overtake here by Coque Lopez, really stamping his authority down there, as he wanted a lot of practice he has over the course of the last races in that corner. So no doubt he got it right. We're on board now with Italy's Valerio Gallo. Very, very quick, very, very aggressive race. And you can see in the mirror, actually, if you look for top right, that's the gap we've got. Already 1.5 seconds back to Team Canada, the top four in the league of their own.
It's crucially out of slipstream range, and the thing is, if you get closer, you're in that dirty air, so it's going to be really tricky for Canada and Ethan Lim to close up that deficit. Nose to tail the top four run as we come through turn 10. Lap 3 out of 7 we're on here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. We said it would provide good racing, and it's proven to do exactly that so far. Not usually a track renowned for its overtaking, but here at Gran Turismo in the Nations Cup, proven to be the exception to the rule. Matt McEwen for Team New Zealand. He's not driving at the moment, but you can see him here commenting on this Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, saying the big overtaking opportunity is going to be turn 1 at the end of this big straight, which we're heading down to now. At the start of lap 4, we've got a change of lead potentially here. Side by side we go with Brazil versus Japan. Karatsa going defensive against Kobayashi, blocking the line and the overtaking opportunity there for the Japanese driver. Through turn 3 we go. Oh, Kobayashi's trying to get the switch back there on the inside through 3. They've got to keep an eye out on their mirrors though, because Lopez and Gallo ready to join the party for Spain and Italy respectively. Side by side we go for third place. Gallo on the inside of Lopez, but Lopez is going to have the inside line through in towards turn 4 and 5. Can he hold firm for now, the Spaniard? Yes, just about for the time being. So it's as you were at the front.
Saw there, I thought that Coque Lopez might have a chance actually on Team Japan there, but just caught the marbles on the outside, a little bit sideways there, slowed down his exit speed, and he was forced again to defend from Team Italy behind. And even with all that fight in the gap, back to Team Canada is about the same. So all it really takes is one of these guys to make a move for the whole order to change. So Brazil, Karatsa, feeling like he needs to go defensive. I see Valerio Gallo in the background taking very well. There's contact between Team Spain and Team Japan. I think that Karatsa was slow getting out of the corner. Big Constantino effect there. Now the positions stay as they were in Italy, and Team Italy with Gallo there getting sideways, trying to get in front nice and quickly. That no chicane layout, when you get a massive fast run onto the straight here. But at the moment, Coque Lopez under pressure from Italy to go down towards T1.
Here you can see the live point standings if it happened as it was now, but that's all going to be set to change as we are ready to go 3 wide down the start-finish straight here at the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. Japan on the inside, Spain in the middle, Italy on the outside. We go side by side for 4th place and 3rd place there with Italy versus Japan as well. Spain through into 2nd, Gallo through for Italy into 3rd, Japan relegated down into 4th place, 2 places lost in the space of a corner.
I tell you what, Coque Lopez is driving like the champion that he is, and that home ground advantage there really definitely paying off. You can see how that would change the live point standings. That would put Spain just a point behind Brazil heading into the grand final if it were to end as it was. But I've got a sneaking suspicious, Tom, that it's not going to. I don't think it is.
Well, if you're a gambling man and you stick a fiver on any of these teams, you get pretty good odds. Give it a lap or so, and I reckon the odds will be even better because it's going to be unpredictable. We know that. What it has done with that trio of cars squabbling, it's just allowed Brazil to have a half-second buffer or so. Karatsa, a nice little bit of clear air, but I guarantee that's not going to last too long.
It's also brought Ethan Lim back into the fray there for Team Canada. For the first time, he's under a second to this little fail. Coque Lopez, mistake coming out of the hairpin, sideways trying to get on throttle. Italy now, of course, behind Team Spain. It is Brazil, Spain, Italy, Japan, and now behind them, look how close Team Canada is. So Ethan Lim here, if anything goes wrong at the front, could find themselves on a podium position. Now he's right on the back, so look in the mirror. Ethan is right there. We're on board with Team Japan now, and Kobayashi going down towards T1. We've got the slipstream of the car in front. Will we make a move into T1? Gallo goes defensive, so does Coque Lopez, and now here comes Ethan Lim. He's thrown the car to the inside. He's seen the opportunity. He's only going to get one, almost onto the gravel there. Not quite close enough to make the move, but I've got to say, awesome driving there from the Canadian, really making the most of the front guys squabbling.
Well, if Harold Valson was selling ringside seats, he'd be able to get an absolute fortune for them at the moment. He's closing up onto the back of these guys that are squabbling. In 6th place at the moment is the Chilean driver. Down in towards 5 we go then. So So penultimate lap, Brazil and Adriano Carrazza pulling out and extending their advantage to just under 0.8 of a second. Final warning for Team USA as well. We saw them have a bit of contact in the opening stages of that race, and the steward saying, if you do that again, well, we're going to slap you on the wrist with a penalty. They're down in 10th position, and that is the last point scoring place in this race. So let's see what the stewards do deem if they do get involved in any further dramas. Down in towards 10 we go. Meanwhile, Coque Lopez, the reigning Nations Cup champion here for Spain, in second place, soaking up the pressure by Valerio Gallo for Italy.
Now, a little reminder, of course, that the finishing results from this race will determine the grid positions for the Grand Final, as well, of course, as a few extra points if you finish well. So that's why everyone is so keen to try and get as far up the grid as possible. We come on to the final lap now, and Valerio Gallo locks on to the back of Coque Lopez, the 2021 champion versus a 2022 champion, down towards T1. Can Gallo go the long way around the outside? Coque Lopez defends. Will there be a switchback attempt? No, but now look in the background, Kobayashi's there as well, and that attack has now gone to defence as Kobayashi goes up the inside into P3, and Gallo goes from 3rd to 4th whilst trying to overtake the second.
Well, this is going to be really close as they're coming towards turn 4, then into the right hand, and there's a bit of hip and shoulder between them. Gallo's going to get shuffled out onto the marbles. If he can keep track position, he might have a chance to retaliate up the inside of turn 5. Can he get the car stopped on the apex? Yes, he can. Valerio Gallo back through into 3rd place. This is critical for their point scoring for both of these nations, for Italy versus Japan, as they come up the top, and it's just allowed a little bit of breathing room for Coque Lopez up the road in second.
Only a few more corners left here of race 3, the World Finals of the Nation Cup here in Barcelona. Looking like Team Japan might have one more stamp here at Team Italy. Contact between the two. Wide goes Valerio Gallo. Up the inside goes Kobayashi up into 3rd place there. Great move by the Japanese driver, but Carrazza only has a couple more corners to go for the victory of race 3.
Yeah, I thought it'd be under investigation, so the stewards might be taking a dim view of that incident. Kobayashi into the back of Italy. These are the live points rankings as it would sit now. Brazil will have a 1-point advantage coming into the Grand Final. It's Brazil and Adriano Carrazza who make it 2 wins out of 3 races here in Barcelona. Spain finishing in 2nd place ahead of Japan, Italy, Canada, Chile, the Netherlands, France, New Zealand and the USA completing the top 10. What a fantastic race. It is advantage Brazil by just the smallest of margins coming into the Grand Final here tonight, and we're going to see whether that incident that happened on the last lap between Japan and Italy will deem a penalty for it. We saw it as under investigation. Let's wait and find out what the stewards declare that as a result. But meanwhile, at the sharp end of the field, Adriano Carrazza, great drive from him.
Yeah, really good drive from Carrazza. We're used to seeing him maybe get a bit flustered in these situations, but kept his cool there. And the guy's got good pace. The guy is fast. So really good effort there by Carrazza. And Coque Lopez will be happy with that recovery after the low starting position. Also, we didn't really mention him during the race, but Rick Kevlin up 4 places from 11th to P7 in that. So a good job there from Rick Kevlin. Let's break down what happened there in our final qualifying race, so to speak, for the World Finals here in Barcelona. It was Team Brazil and Adriano Carrazza took the lead earlier on, but it was Spain and Coque Lopez with this fantastic move there, taking 2 into 1 at T1 with the charge back through the field after a poor result in the last race. Then this was pretty much the story of the whole race. These 4 teams, Brazil, Japan, Spain and Italy, going at it every corner. It was Coque Lopez working his way back up through the field. Then through this move, almost 3 wide. It did go 3 wide down towards T1, with Coque Lopez showing last of the late breakers into T1, taking that 2nd place where he would stay until the flag. Here's the view from Valerio Gallo. Oh, I've never seen 3 of his cars 3 wide before. What a show.
Fantastic racing, wasn't it? You can see Japan here on the inside, Italy looking for the move back through. Japan there getting their move back ahead at turn 3. Brazil then taking the checkered flag from Spain, from Japan as well. And we've just heard a decision there about the penalty, Jimmy. There is no penalty that's going to be awarded. It's deemed a racing incident, so Japan will keep 3rd place. Let's go down to our winner, though, Adriano Carrazza for Team Brazil.
Well, hello. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, you good? You enjoyed that?
Yeah.
Yeah? I mean, did you have any idea it was quite chaotic behind you? But
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
Yeah, talk us through the drive for you.
Yeah, my driving is defend a lot because I know the guys behind me is faster. So I try to defend and keep the gap and keep the pace and save a little bit of the tires, and that's it.
I mean, stellar drive. Obviously now, yes, 2 out of 3 races for you guys. You're obviously going in the lead in the grand final. I mean, pressure on, pressure off. What do you think?
Yeah. Brazil, Spain, I think is a great battle on the final, and I hope Brazil win.
Well, yeah. I think Spain did amazingly well, like coming back from that. So, yeah, how do you feel? So you're going to just take a little break before you
I
get
feel
ready?
great, feel normal, no anxious. So did the practice in the home, and it's okay.
Well, you're doing good. You just got to keep it together for the grand final.
Thank you.
Look, big congratulations. Let's give it up, Adriana Carrazza from Brazil, winner of race 3. Thanks to you, Tom and Jimmy.
Great to hear from Adriana Carrazza. Great to see the Spanish crowd being as passionate as ever as well. Carrazza takes top honours and 12 points into the grand final for the Brazilian team ahead of Spain and Koke Lopez. 10 points on the board for them with second place. Kobayashi in Japan, 8 points on the board for third position. Gallo into fourth with that last lap overtake that we saw. Lim getting some good points there for Canada, and so on and so forth. Belgium and Malaysia not managing to score any points. But here is how it looks going into the grand final, Jimmy. That's as close as you like. 1 point in it between Brazil and Spain. Very much Japan in there, as well as Italy, Chile, France, because it's double points on offer for this last one. 24 is the maximum now.
It is double points, though, so if you do make a mistake in this grand final, that could be it. That could be your day done. But of course, conversely as well, look how close it is. I think realistically at the point, it's between 4 teams, Brazil, Spain, Japan, Italy. But if there is a poor race from any of those guys, Chile and France, they're still there. Canada's not too far behind either. So definitely a chance of a podium for pretty much anyone down 7th place at the moment.
Yeah, it was hugely exciting, that race. Loads and loads of action up and down the field, as we've seen at the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. Over the course of this weekend, it's not just the Nations Cup races we've had here. We've had some manufacturers races. We've had a lot of Pro-Am races. That was chaos earlier on here tonight. Make sure to keep an eye on our YouTube channel for that. Now, of course, it's not just about us here on the ground here in Barcelona. It's about you at home as well. And on Gran Turismo 7, there are plenty of campaigns to keep you interested. Take a look at this and find out what you can get yourself involved with ahead of our grand final for the Nations Cup.
If you've opened up GT7 in the past couple of days, you'll see that it's been updated for the GT World Finals in Barcelona. It's your chance to get rewarded with amazing gifts all weekend. If you think you can predict who'll be our 2023 winners, click the bonus campaign button on the GT7 map screen to join the Predict the Winner campaign by Brembo. Receive 1 million credits every time you predict correctly. You can vote right up until the start of the grand final race of each event. You can also get rewarded by watching the World Finals directly in GT7. Click the button on the GT7 map screen and join the Viewers campaign by BBS. You will automatically receive a new Vision GT concept car for every show that you watch. While you're in GT7, participate in the final celebration race to experience the same races as the drivers competing at the World Finals this weekend. Keep practicing, and who knows? It could be you going head-to-head here next year.
Well, there we are. Don't say we don't try and keep you entertained on Gran Turismo 7 over the course of this one. Some brilliant prizes there. My only wish is that we could get involved. We're stuck here talking about it. I'm not complaining, I'd like to add.
Oh, what a shame. Here we are at the live venue. Oh, what a shame.
It's a Greek tragedy of all things, isn't it? Right, now, team to watch going into this grand final. Brazil, of course, have got a 1-point swing, but I have to say, I think Spain just 1 point away. I mean, there is a lot of support for Spain here tonight in Barcelona, and we are really looking forward to seeing what they're going to be able to do.
Yeah, I mean, they've been incredibly consistent, all of them across the last few events we've had here at Barcelona. As you say, just 1 point off, and in the grand final, that's really nothing. That's basically just finishing ahead of the next guy. And they've incredibly strong lineup. Serrano, of course, Coca Lopez, Paul Jura. Here, however, is one of the bad highlights so far for Spain. This is what, you must wonder what could have been if not for this incident, Tom, in race 2.
Quite, you call it a highlight, rather a low light, but it was a great highlight of a recovery for Jose Serrano in that second race of the evening. You can see them making their way through up into 5th place. Then eventually they would go on to finish in 4th position with this move on Canada coming down into the right-hander. It's been really interesting, and we've challenged the drivers quite a lot coming into this one because, of course, there are different car and circuit combinations. Let's go down to talk to Jules, who she's got Team Spain ahead of the grand final.
Well, yes, I'm down here with 2/3 of Team Spain. Let's hear it for Team Spain. Come on, 1 point difference going into the grand final. I mean, 1 point, what does that even mean in a grand final? It's nothing. How do you feel going into this final race? You feeling confident?
Yeah, we think we have chances, but we don't want to be overconfident. Everyone will be fast. We have to be careful with everyone.
I mean, it's been amazing driving, and everything you've done has been perfect. The only reason of difference was nothing to do with you, do you know what I mean? So you must feel really, really confident. I'm excited to see how this is going to go. Who's your biggest, are you most worried about Brazil? Like who's your, or Italy, is it revenge?
We actually have more than one worries. So yeah, we have to be careful with some teams. They are very fast. Also be careful about the strategy, because everyone's gonna be on a different strategy, and yeah, we have to really take that into account.
How are you feeling, Jose?
Bueno, la verdad que me siento muy bien. Bastante complicada la carrera de antes. Y bueno, lo hemos hecho lo mejor que hemos podido en mi carrera, y muchas gracias a la afición por todo el apoyo que nos estáis dando, y ahora viene la hora de verdad.
Just stick with the music while. Yeah, let's hear it for them going to the final. Let's hear it for Team Spain. Okay, let's get into this grand final.
My goodness me, I tell you what, you can't get closer than the passion. My Spanish isn't great, but it doesn't need to be, because all you needed to hear were the cheers from the crowd here in Barcelona, just to show you exactly how excited they are for this.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot predict what will happen if Spain do walk away with this tonight, because it'll just be an absolutely insane scenes here at Barcelona. So here is your grand final starting grid. The drivers there, not necessarily in order they are going to be driving in. It'll be Brazil starting on a pole position with Spain in second. Japan, very quick, although still down, of course, the driver in 3rd position. And Italy in 4th with Gallo, Mangano and Busnello. Canada, I've got to say, my sort of surprise pick so far. There in P5 could be an outside chance.
Yeah, really interesting to see how they are going to fare with this one. Of course, double points on offer, as we know, for the grand final. And here is the car and circuit combination for the first time then. The Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps at the Red Bull X 2019. Racing hard, medium and soft tyres. They must use each tyre compound for a continuous 6 laps, which means each of the drivers gets 1 go on any of those tyre compounds. But this is the car. We've seen it so many times in the Nations Cup over the last 5 years. It's back again once more.
I think, importantly, the Red Bull X 2019 always produces good, close racing. And, of course, great strategy to go with it as well, which, of course, will come into play here in the grand final. Now, speaking of strategy, let's look at the tyres for today. Racing soft, medium and hard tyres on display. Each tyre must be used for at least 6 laps, meaning that hard tyre that people tend to try and use for 1 lap and then throw away, or hard tyre, I feel bad for it sometimes, has to be used for at least 6 laps, Tom.
Well, if you're the likes of Brazil and Spain and you're starting at the sharp, are you going to go soft early on, do you think, or are you going to go for the hard tyre? How are you going to play this?
I mean, sort of traditionally, the best strategy really is if you are stuck in traffic, you use a tyre that's not going to wear a bit more quickly, so the medium tyre or the hard tyre. If you're at the front, like you said, Spain and Brazil, use a soft tyre. Get away early, build that gap. You've got no one in front of you. So the starting tyre choice is important. We have seen that in the past. So we'll wait and see what both Spain and Brazil go for.
Well, don't forget, of course, you can get involved in the act as well and predict the winner campaign that's on board with GT7 at the moment. You can win 1 million in-game credits, as you can see. And, well, I mean, you can go to Rupert's tuning shop, buy yourself some suspension, a new turbo, something along the lines of that. Anyway, let's get the grand final underway for the Nations Cup here in Barcelona. one more race left to go in 2023. Don't forget, we are live in 7 different languages here for the Gran Turismo World Finals in Barcelona. We are very much looking forward to seeing what is going to unfold. There are the Spanish commentators in front of the Spanish crowd, and you join us here in the English box as well. The Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps is the name of the game. It's Brazil and Igor Fraga who will line up on pole position for the final race of 2023. Koke Lopez for Spain alongside on the front row of the grid. Kobayashi heads Japan's charge from 3rd. Then you've got Mangano for Italy in 4th position. Canada and Trent Jeffrey line up P5. Then 6th is Chile and Fabian Portilla at the helm. 7th on the grid, the Netherlands, Floris Zimmerman. What can he do from there? Next up, France, Baptiste Beauvoir. Challenging day in the office for them so far. New Zealand's Cy Bishop heads up P9 on the grid. And the USA, Kevin Pounder in 10th place. The final row is occupied by Baccialieri, the Belgian driver, on home soil, and then Ivan Suji completing the 12-driver strong field. And our first opportunity to look at the tyre strategy here, Jimmy. Brazil and Spain going for softs, the next 4 teams going for mediums.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised by that. We did mention that if you're in the front of the field going with the soft tyre is probably the better strategy, but the real question is, will Brazil and Spain work together here in this first part of the race? They're both going to know they're on the soft tyres. They're both going to know this is the time to go quick. Team Radio for Spain.
rebufo de Brasil, deja un poco de distancia y yo qué sé. Haz la primera curva regulín.
Okay, so just having listened to that, all I could hear was there's a little bit of distance, so I reckon that's what they're sort of talking about, the strategy and the fact that they're close to Brazil. Try and keep the distance to a minimum, I imagine, would be the plan, and not let Igor Fraga get away. Koke Lopez and Fraga, both, of course, former champions, but for one final time in 2023, we are about to go racing. It is time to crown our Nations Cup World Champions here at Spa-Francorchamps. We're in Barcelona. Only one nation can claim the crown in 2023. Let's find out who it is as we go racing for the final time this year. Brazil and Spain lead the field down towards La Source for the first time. Japan, Italy, Canada all lining astern. Don't expect any rash moves into La Source. That's when we come up the ride through Eau Rouge and Radion and onto the Camel Straight for the first time. Let's see what happens then. Brazil leading the way. Fraga trying to pull out as much of an advantage as he can at a very overcast Spa-Francorchamps circuit, but Japan already trying to put the pressure onto the back of Spain. Italy not too far away there as well. The Netherlands have got themselves ahead of Chile for the first time, and there's an incident already under investigation as we come into Lake Coon.
Yeah, I think that involved New Zealand, and Cy Bishop who's now off the back of the field by 6 seconds. We'll get back to that when we know what's happened, but now at the front of the field is Brazil and Spain, and Team Japan hanging on that medium compound tyre for now as we come through Rivage for the first time and into the newly named X corner, this fast left-hander, and then down to Puon, a very, very fast double apex corner which these sort of cars absolutely love. There's a little blip of the throttle, off you go, and then back on again, full throttle. High speed for 140, 150 plus mile an hour as Brazil starts to, I say, somewhat have a small gap, but only still 0.4 of a second. Now this car is a car that we know Team Brazil's Igor Fraga absolutely loves. He's done so well in this car over the course of the Nations Cup. Of course, 2018 Nations Cup champion with Koke Lopez, 2022 Nations Cup champion, hot on his heels behind.
This circuit is a track, especially in this X 2019, that holds a fair few mixed memories, though, for Igor Fraga. If you remember back to New York in 2019, he had a coming together with Mikael Hazal, very controversial incident. No such problems for him to worry about in terms of coming together with anybody else, because he's pulled out some 3 or 4 tenths of a second as we come to the end of this first lap. Japan and Spain, though, Japan and Italy, rather, I should say, not too far adrift in 3rd and 4th place as we come across the timing line to begin the second out of 22 laps. On board we ride here with Koke Lopez down towards the first corner. Look at the closing speed there. Did he just miss his braking point? Was that intentional?
Yeah, I think he missed his braking point there, Tom. I think you called that right the first time. He's gone almost flying into the back of Brazil's Igor Fraga, and that's going to keep Team Japan and Team Italy in contention. And what Brazil and Spain are trying to do now is break the toe to the guys on the medium compound tyres, because if you're in the medium compound, you don't quite have the grip in the corners, don't quite have the traction, don't quite have the braking ability, but if you can get dragged along in a straight line with the guys in front, then you're kind of negating that somewhat. So longer they can stay there, the better. Team Chile, I think, there overtaking Team France up into P6 in that medium compound tyre. But we'll keep an eye on this battle at the front first. Now, Coque Lopez, what do you do here to Coque Lopez? I think really just kind of stay there for now. If there's any divergence in strategy, that's when things really start to get interesting.
It's not only tyre strategy that needs to be considered in this one, fuel is going to be a consideration as well over the course of this. So if he can sit there in the slipstream, Coque Lopez, he can just afford to save that little bit of fuel compared to Igor Fraga, who is punching that hole in the air. Malaysia pick up a 1-second penalty then for the incident on the first corner. We didn't see exactly what happened as we were looking a bit further up the field. Let's see if we can piece together what went on then here. So this is Malaysia in 11th. That's your first lap incident down in towards turn 8. And what's going to happen here between Malaysia and the USA? Just wondering what goes on. They come through in towards the left-hander of turn 9. Malaysia just sitting behind the USA. They go to the inside line, coming down in towards Podium. Belgium getting themselves ahead of the Netherlands as well, so that's actually a bit further up the order, a little bit later on, so that's actually nothing in relation to the penalty that Malaysia have picked up. Meanwhile, back at the sharp end, Brazil versus Spain, Fraga versus Lopez, no change at the top, but the gap between second and third, Jimmy, has increased.
Yeah, that's important now for the medium runners. They can't no longer keep the pace of this soft compound tyre. That soft tyre is going to go off a lot quicker than the medium behind it, as Chile pick up a 1-second penalty for colliding with another car. It was a strong start for Team Chile, but they've sort of fallen away a little bit as the competition has progressed. So, reminder, it's double points here in the Grand Final. All 3 drivers must drive at some point. So, there's no strong and no weak driver allowed here. So, saying that, here comes Coque Lopez, deciding it's about time to take the lead of this race. Through he goes past Igor Fraga, and I get the impression that maybe Igor didn't fight that too hard. He's not keen on losing too much time at the moment.
Do you think they might end up being in a bit of a race where they've got their shoelaces tied together, if I may use such a term, because they might work together whilst they're on similar sorts of strategies, and then as they go into the pit stops and the strategies begin to diverge, that's when they'll split, and that's when we'll see proper fighting?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, we'll have to see what the strategies entail here, and those are, if the race ended now, the live point rankings. Of course, double points this race. Team Spain would be Team Brazil and Japan, who are in third, would remain third. So basically your top 3 would be your top 3 on the podium as of now. But a long way to go yet here. We're only on lap 3 of 22.
Yeah, Chile with that penalty there in 6th place. They are, what's that, 1.2 seconds now ahead of Belgium. So it's exactly as you would begin to expect. The soft tyres being the quicker of the compounds. Then you've got the medium shot runners occupying 3rd down to 7th, and the hard shot runners in 8th down to 12th with New Zealand. Just a shout out, by the way, to Cy Bishop. I know that his mum is watching at home, 4 a.m. in New Zealand, which is incredible dedication. So big hello to Mama Bishop. And also, we understand this is going to be Cy's last World Series event. So Cy, many thanks for the memories, and we wish you all the very best of luck in the future.
Yeah, many great memories with Cy Bishop, and this probably won't be one of them, unfortunately for him. He's down in last place right now, but whatever you do next, Cy, we wish you the best of luck. But back to the race now. Team Spain still leading from Igor Fraga and Team Brazil. Now let's see if we get a bit of a sort of switcheroo here. We might be just trading places up towards Lake Con. We'll see as we come through Eau Rouge and Radion, completely flat out on these cars, owing to the massive amount of wings. Team Radio from Spain.
Intento escapar y si me sigue, que me siga. Voy a tirar, que no quiero rodar en 51 con el blando.
Sí, y así él también gastará seguro.
Well, we need to go down to Lucas Alberto to get them to translate that for us, I think.
The only word I answered there was C.
A bit more team radio just coming in there here. We can hear just in the background. Oh, it's actually just a translation we had in my ear there, apologies. So saying if he wants to follow me, then he can. So let's see whether that proves to be a strategy that works out for Coque Lopez as they sit in the race lead for the time being.
That sounds like to me, that's Coque saying, you know what, I'm going to push now. If you keep up, mate, no, fair enough, but I don't think you can. And saying that, the gap is now up to 6/7 of a second. So through the middle sector, it seems that Coque Lopez has got quite a bit of speed. You see there, putting to the left early, trying to break the toe a little bit earlier. Igor Fraga is very experienced in this car, but as is Coque Lopez, of course, winning the 2022 Nations Cup in this car just last year. Has it really been a year already? Well, Coque Lopez, I'm sure, is eager to be the only person to retain a Nations Cup. Well, I guess it's the format slightly different now, but no one's ever had a double before.
Well, this is the thing, we've never had a back-to-back champion, that much is true. But of course, we do have a different element. Normally, we're used to talking about individual drivers who are divulging on their own strategies and so on. Now, of course, we've got this team element where you've got 3 drivers all working head-to-head with one another. What do you make of this format now, Jimmy? Of course, it's been a big shake-up to the order for 2023.
I mean, I quite enjoy the team format. You know, it's good to have different strengths, different weaknesses, because it also adds a bit more variance for us up here in the commentary booth as well. There's always more possibilities for action. So, speaking of action, we've had Belgium. And BVLGARI there has gone up 5 places from the start, owing mainly to being on that medium compound tire, I think. But good to know that he has made the best of it and is now trying to chase down Jeffrey in P5 for Canada. We're still on board now with Brazil's Igor Fraga. I think, fair to say, starting to drop off the back of Koke Lopez.
So, crucial thing here, Jimmy, we're on lap 5, one more lap, and we're coming to the minimum requirement for the tyre time. So it's those a little bit quiet in the race as it stands for now. You can expect the drivers that are on the hard tyres occupying 8th down to 12th. They will probably want to come in and get those hard tyres off as soon as they possibly can, because the hard tyres are not quick. Just to give you an idea of the difference in lap times, the hard shod tyre runners all in sort of the 154, 155 range, mediums in the 151s, 152s, the top 2 on the softs in the 150s and the low 150s at that. So a big difference in terms of the time. So they want to get those off as soon as they can and get onto a quicker compound.
Yeah, I've got a sneaking suspicion it'll be at 5 pit stops at the end of this lap, I think. But we go out through the last part with Stavelo 1 and Stavelo 2 of the circuit here, Spa-Francorchamps. I think a circuit that's seen some fantastic racing over the course of the series here. There's Fabian Portier basically saying, Spain are going to win. But no, I think it's good to have that respect for your fellow team, fellow drivers. Portier's been around for a very long time. We've seen the landscape here, and there's no doubt that the Spain lineup is a very strong one indeed.
Yeah, exactly. You saw that in the World Series Showdown a couple of months ago. They won in Amsterdam in commanding fashion. Some 16 seconds they had at the checkered flag over Japan and Brazil. How ironic it is that it was Spain, Japan, Brazil. That was your top 3 at the grand final in Amsterdam, and we've got the same 3 nations on the podium as it sits so far.
I think the speed is speed, you know. These guys are fast and they're at the top of the field because they deserve to be there. So, are we going to see some pit stops now from those hard runners? Or are they going to give it one more turn, of course? So there's a little bit of a limited practice before this, get an idea of tyre wear, etc., but not a lot. So maybe some of the drivers choosing, I think they've all chosen to go around again there, Tom. So end of this lap, I think they'll be boxing.
Yeah, this now is the first opportunity because, of course, the leaders...
Sorry, I can't count, it seems. We know that already, though.
So Japan versus Italy here in 3rd and 4th place now, respectively. Looking at fuel for the first time, you can see Spain have used 3 litres more. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a fair chunk that they're going to have to put in the tank, and it could be the difference between managing to hold on to the position that they occupy when they come into the pits. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to do it on the first stop. They may do it on the second stop when they need to put some more juice in the car. So, Italy there, Giorgio Mangano at the wheel. Great resurgence for form. As you said earlier on, Jimmy, the winner of the first World Tour event back in 2018 at the Nürburgring. Since then, he's had good results online, but when it comes to the World Tour, World Series events as we've had, he's not necessarily shone in the way that we've been expecting, but he has been a critical part of the Italians' form so far this weekend.
Yeah, he's been very quick. It's good to see him sort of back at the sharp end, where I think he belongs as well. So, also Team Japan doing a great job. Kobayashi, very young driver, but as you say, very experienced, taking part in Japanese Formula 4. It is there. So we know he's got the real-life racing ability, which I think, you know, we're seeing more and more. They both translate both ways. People are quick in real life, quick in sim. People are quick in sim, quick in real life. It's great to see just how close these sims are now. In comes Team Italy. Maybe a bit early there, Tom, on lap 7.
Yeah, that's on the medium compound of tyre, so I wonder exactly what that strategy is all about. So they're going to be changing over their drivers. Out of the car will go Giorgio Mangano, but who crucially is going to get in? It's Gallo. So they've gone for Gallo. Is he going to go on the soft tyre? Is he their ace up the sleeve, as it were, to get them as quick as they can in this middle stint, or are they going to go for the harder compound of tyre? Let's see what happens here. Gallo, of course, does go onto the soft tyre, so they think that Gallo is their best chance of making hay whilst the sun shines. France, Malaysia, USA, Netherlands, New Zealand also into the pits. That's all of the hard runners critically there as well. So all the hard runners are going to come in as Gallo exits the pit lane, and crucially for him here, Jimmy, nice bit of clear air. That's exactly what he needed.
Interesting, a bit of fuel going as well as the Bouteille gets in for Team France. I've got to say, Gallo lighting up the rear tyres on exit there. Good idea, I'm not sure. Those soft tyres are pretty fragile. So anyway, front of the field remains Team Spain from Igor Fraga. And Fraga, I think, basically just dropped to about 8 tenths and has just chosen to stay there. But like he has had the pace to move forward a little bit, but hasn't done so for now. And with that, we say goodbye to Cy Bishop, his last stint here at the GT World Series all over Dublin. Again, thank you, Cy. It's been a pleasure, mate.
So Matt McEwen takes over with Team New Zealand as we watch Team Spain now with a 9/10 of a second advantage over Team Brazil in second place. Of course, Spain and Brazil have not yet pitted at this point, but Koke Lopez has been driving very consistently. He was about a 10th of a half or so quicker than Igor Fraga last time around was Koke Lopez. Meanwhile, Team USA very close with Malaysia in front and the Netherlands behind. Donovan Parker now at the wheel of the American X2019. Just in front of them is Danny Wigneswarren, who's taken over for Team Malaysia. They were on the hard tyre and now challenging Team Malaysia coming in towards Puon. So this is going to get mightily close between them as they come through into the left and then in towards the Fanya chicane. Look at the Netherlands there, looking up the inside, bit of contact between themselves and the USA. That might put America onto the back foot. And Kevlin there for the Netherlands just backing out of the throttle, and they all hold station for the time being as they come through the second Stavalo.
Yeah, more pit stops now. Japan, Canada, Belgium and Chile in. This is going to be Kobayashi going to Suzuki. He's got no choice but to. Only two drivers here today owing to Sasaki, unfortunately, not being able to make it to this event. But they've been performing very well as just a duo between them. Going onto that hard compounder tyre, meaning Kobayashi has had the start and the anchor roll at the end. So Suzuki, I think, will probably be doing the minimum laps of 6 and then going off to the end of the race from there. So Spain, interestingly, for the first time, over a second now ahead of Team Brazil. When we tend to get to that gap, the gap then tends to grow a fair bit, because we're starting to get out of a tow. The competitors reckon it's about 1.3 seconds or so. It's when the tow starts, and then from there, you just fall back. So Team Japan, the leading hard runner now, 29 seconds is the gap, and you can see the tyre life there. So Koke Lopez, interestingly, going quicker than Igor Fraga and using less of that rear tyre, but more of the front tyre. Different driving styles there, mate. Yeah, hugely interesting to see how that is going to play out, because Igor Fraga clearly using a little bit more of that rear tyre compared to Koke Lopez. And, well, 19% there for Fraga, 23% for Koke Lopez. You see the difference in lap times there consistently. For 2 laps there, Fraga was slower, but for the last one, as they come across the timing line to begin the 9th lap out of 22 here at Spa-Francorchamps. We're just waiting for these strategies to begin to diverge. Italy there, of course, on the soft tyre, new soft tyres for Gallo versus Japan. Now 1.1 seconds, that gap between them for 3rd and 4th place. Look at this, the Netherlands versus Malaysia. That was an aggressive move there from Rick Kevlin, just shuffling Danny Wigneswarren out of the way into Fanya. Yeah, it's been pretty intense here for the battle for P9. I'm just wondering, because Italy took a little bit more fuel, and the Netherlands there getting very, very sideways. That's Rick Kevlin at the wheel there, and just getting onto that slippery stuff on the outside. This car's got a lot of power, so if you mash the throttle, there's no TC being run here, then you can very easily have a moment like that. Malaysia and USA squabbling over that top 10 position. Here comes Team Malaysia with a tow from both of them. Can't quite make a gap on the inside. Goes to the outside there. Team USA has to see him. And wow, what a move there by Team Malaysia. Almost sold a dummy to the Netherlands there. And up into 9th place. Great move. And meanwhile, here comes Italy on Team Japan. Surely this must be a dive from Valerio Gallo on that soft tyre. It is. There's no response there from Suzuki and Japan. And up into P3 goes Valerio Gallo, and now it is hammer down time for the 2020 champion. What can he do from here? Yeah, Valerio Gallo there sitting in 3rd place now, 32.6 seconds to the deficit of Brazil and Spain. So he's got a nice bit of clear air. Back at this battle for 9th place, it's Malaysia versus the Netherlands, part 2. As we come up into Lake Coombe, keep an eye out for the USA there in the background. Kevlin goes from attacking to trying to defend from Donovan Parker. They go side by side into turn 7 as well. They run it down into turn 8. The USA on the inside. And now that just gives a little bit of breathing room to Danny Wigneswarren, who's up the road in 8th place. The USA and Donovan Parker do eventually get the better of the Netherlands. Rick Kevlin as the top 2, Spain and Brazil into the pit lane there for the first time. So Spain, despite having a bit more tyre life, do have 4 litres fewer fuel on board. So let's see whether they take a bit of fuel on board as they change over their drivers. Who are they going to pop into that seat? Out of it will go Koke Lopez. Into it goes Jose Serrano. And likewise for Brazil, out of it goes Igor Fraga. Into the seat comes Lucas Benelli. Interestingly, Spain choosing to fuel a bit more there, while we have a very quiet period. Just going to very quickly correct myself and say it was 21 champion for BVLGARI. Tom, sorry.
Correct, yeah. Brazil, though, crucially here, Jimmy, onto the hard tyre. Spain diverging, going onto the medium compound. So Spain are going to be quicker by a couple of seconds a lap over Brazil, so you'd expect them to catch up.
Okay, so that I think is why they short-filled a bit. They wanted to be out first so they could then sit and just hold up the car behind. The reminder, of course, that pit entry and pit exit, it's an opportunity to ruin your race if you're not careful over that pit line, which is why the drivers are so careful on pit exit. So right now, Spain have the most fuel of anyone out there at the moment, so looking to go a bit longer on this medium stint, whereas Brazil, I think, will be a short stint on that tyre. They're going to try and run it dry, and in that process, try and hold up Jose Serrano a little bit. The gap's already come down by a second since the start of the lap.
Yeah, so down in towards the left-hander of Podium we go. Such a fast, ferocious part of this Spa-Francorchamps circuit. You can see the marbles already beginning to form here on the outside. We're only on lap 10 out of 22 on this race. So we're coming up towards half distance at the moment. Netherlands, they're closing up onto the back of the USA once more down in 10th position. So this divergence in strategies is going to make things very interesting. You can see the gap was about 4.5 seconds at the start of this one between Brazil and Spain. Spain already decreasing that gap. Jose Serrano at the wheel, now down to just under 2 seconds. He'll be in slipstream range, I'm sure, by the next time they come on to the Kemmel Straight. Just look at the traction and the superior grip that the Spanish driver has got underneath him compared to Brazil's Lucas Pinelli.
So a reminder, it is double points for this grand final, and as it stands right now, Brazil would be your Nations Cup 2023 champions. But not if this man has ever been said by that. Jose Serrano from Spain on that medium compound tyres, rapidly closing in on Brazil's Lucas Pinelli in front. So the gap down to 1.2 seconds. It will be this lap, Tom. It will be this lap that he catches him and passes him. He's in the tow now. Belgium picking up a 2-second penalty from their on-track antics. We missed that, but we'll go back to that if we get a replay. Now down towards Rouge and Radion. Over the top now. Nice slipstreaming range now. 8/10 of a second, 7/10 of a second. Not going to be close enough for Lecomte, but in this braking zone, look how much Serrano closes.
Yeah, this will be easy pickings here for Jose Serrano. And the thing is, if you look at Spinelli, not really too much point in fighting it at this particular stage. The race will come to Brazil a little bit later on. So you'd imagine they'll be kicking the same strategy as we go for the change of lead down in towards turn 7. Serrano, they're looking for the outside line, trying to find the long way around. Can he make it through at Rivage corner? This is going to be a brilliantly close move onto the curb on the outside, flicks it through to the left-hander of Ix. Brilliantly done there for Jose Serrano to take the lead of the race away at the halfway stage, and now they can just clear off into the distance, and Brazil are going to have to keep a keen eye on their mirrors because Italy's Valerio Gallo is not too far adrift. If the checker flag fell now, it'll be Spain crowned as champions by 3 points over Brazil, and then 10 points in turn. They would be ahead over Japan for 3rd place, but there's still plenty of this race left to run, and we've got different strategies to work out.
So that was crucial there for Serrano and Team Spain. He had to make that move as soon as he could. Then basically he made that the first possible opportunity. So he now needs to just sprint away, use the fuel he has in the car, turn the thing up, and just try and make as big a gap as possible now to Brazil behind, because when it comes to their last stint, they are going to have to use that hard compounder tyre, so the roles are going to be reversed. So here comes Valerio Gallo, incredibly quick drive, and as you say, Tom, now just homing onto the back of Team Brazil. He's got the fastest tyre underneath him. Let's look at the lap time. 1:51 for Spain, 1:54 for Brazil, 1:50.4 for Italy and Valerio Gallo, 1.2 seconds faster than the leader.
That was incredibly fast, 4 seconds quicker than Brazil in 2nd place. You can see there Valerio Gallo saying the Nations Cup is unique and it represents the highest honour where the champions are born, and can Italy elevate themselves up into 3rd position. Italy started this one on the medium tyres, they're on the soft tyres now. They will owe the hards at the end of this race, so that could compromise them a little bit there. Not close enough, but Italy just backing off there. Valerio Gallo biding his time behind Brazil as it stands for now.
I think what he did there was turn the fuel down on the straight, had it high for the first part, turn it down almost like you're using a hybrid, giving you that burst out the corner where the acceleration is important, and then turning it off at the end of the straight. So now will we see a dummy or a change similar to what we saw on the last lap there. Not quite. Gallo's a bit more patient, uses the traction exit. It's going to be an easy pass here for Valerio Gallo, and Benelli, I think, very cleverly there, just lets him have it, but wastes as little time as possible in that hard combat tie, because he knows it's going to come back to him. It's going to come back to Team Brazil in their last stint.
I suppose the one saving grace here, you'd expect Gallo to be a lot quicker in the corners, but if he is going to just save a little bit of fuel on the straight, if he can keep within slipstreaming range, Benelli, of Valerio Gallo, I think it'll be a bit of a tall order, but he could just save that little bit of fuel behind him there as well.
And you're thinking, why save fuel when you can refuel? But the idea is you spend less time in the pit lane. You saw the difference between Spain and Brazil, when they pitted, and how quickly Brazil was able to get out. 4 seconds was the gap. So every little bit of fuel you save just helps you in that last pit stop.
Marc Pinel here just in front of Belgium. We've had a challenging day at the office, I think it's fair to say, so far. They sit in 8th place at the moment. Both of these teams on the same strategy, on the hard tyre for their medium stint. A reminder, of course, they must do a minimum of 6 laps on each compound of tyre before the conclusion of this race. Gianna Defro behind the wheel of that car would love to be able to bring a strong result home at their home circuit of Spa, but it has been an uphill struggle for them so far. They were hit with a penalty earlier on for a collision, and they're stuck behind Canada as it stands for now, who had a really good start to the evening's worth of racing. Since then, they've been consistently in the top 5. It's not been close enough to challenge for the podium, but let's see whether that can change at the moment as they come under more pressure from Team Belgium out of the bus stop down towards La Source as we begin lap 13.
Oh, almost into the back of Team Canada there, but I was just looking at the live timing there. Interestingly, Spain actually quicker that time around than Team Italy, and that might be crucial. You really want to be maximising that soft tyre, and Gallo did have to overtake someone there, but that might be enough. Team radio from Spain here as Belgium attack Canada.
Vosotros me decís cuando paro, ¿vale? Tú, sí, 7, hay que parar en la 16. 16, vale.
When are you coming in soon is what the translation is there. So that means that Spain will not be on that medium combat of tyre before too long, as Belgium do manage to get themselves in front of Canada for now. Down in towards turn 8 we go. Into the pits come the USA, then they've gone on off the medium tyre as quick as they possibly can on to the soft compound, so they're going to try and run to the end of this race for 9 laps, which is going to be interesting because the tyre multiplier is at ×5, so 1 lap is the equivalent to 5. It's going to be pretty warm for them towards the end of this race.
I think it's possible. It's going to be right on the last legs at the end there. So I think just trying their best to try and bring it back. USA, they've got to try something now. Of course, they're down the bottom of the field, so really taking a stab isn't going to hurt anyone at this point.
See the tyre life there on the left-hand side of your picture. Spain have done 5 laps on the medium tyre, so they'll do this one, and then they'll do another, and then they'll come in at the end of their 6-lap stint on that medium compound of tyre. You would imagine so, because we heard the team radio a few moments ago saying that he's going to come in before too long. Japan coming in on the hard tyre, minimum requirement there for Saya Suzuki. They want to get off of that tyre as quickly as they can. They also, crucially, like France, need a bit of fuel in the car.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if Spain come in soon. They want to try and get the minimum time on that hard tyre, but maybe they're aware they're being listened to, you know, maybe some mind games going on. But Team Japan then in, 6 litres in, and onto that soft compound tyre. That'll be going to the end now. Kobayashi will be getting back into the car. If you're wondering why he got back out only to get back in, there are only 2 drivers available for Team Japan. Unfortunately, the 3rd driver unable to get here for travel reasons, and Kobayashi, of course, the faster of the 2. So he's now got the anchor roll for that soft stint at the end.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what Kobayashi can do. France in the pit lane, so all the teams from 5th occupying down to 11th place in the box as it stands for the time being. USA have got Caelan Roach behind the wheel, by the way, after they made their pit stop a little bit earlier than the rest of the field. So everybody, bar the top 4, have made their final pit stop in this race, and everybody, bar the top 4, are all now going to be on the soft compound of tyre towards the end of this race. So cue the Jaws music for Team Spain. They come through Stavelot 2, Paul Freya as it is now known, and run towards Blanchimont and the bus stop. This is the tyre where, as you can see, Spain on the medium compound of tyre, a little bit more life left, especially in the fronts for them over Team Italy. Italy's rears in particular looking pretty worn at this stage.
Tell you what, this has been an absolutely amazing stint from Hogan Serrano. He's been almost matching Valerio Gallo lap time, only 4 tenths slower last lap, but Gallo turning up the wick a little bit now as they come towards the end of the stint. 51.3 for Spain, 50.6 for Italy. So Gallo is starting now to catch up a little bit, but it's a little bit too... I mean, it will be a straight fight at the end of the race, so Gallo really wants to try and get as close as possible before handing out over to their last driver.
Yeah, this is going to be hugely interesting at the end of this race, because Italy, all that Valerio Gallo's job is to try and keep the gap at a manageable distance. Of course, let's not forget Spain, they still owe the hard compound of tyre. Italy also owing the hard compound of tyre. So let's see how close they are. Brazil, meanwhile, they've got the divergence in strategy, and this could be the ace up the sleeve that they need. They're on lap 6 for Lucas Bonelli. He's on that hard compound of tyre. It's the slowest compound, but crucially, they are going to go on to the medium tyre towards the end. So they'll be quicker than Spain and Italy in front of them at the end of this race. And which of those drivers are they going to put behind the wheel? After that one, well, we've had Lucas Bonelli behind it so far. We kicked off the race, if I remember correctly, with Ingel Fraga. So it'll be Adriano Carrazza who's going to complete this one for Brazil, and we know he is quick when he needs to be. He's proven to be very competitive here tonight.
It's hard to tell, but I wonder if Bonelli's been fast enough on that hard stint. I mean, he's done a 53 on the last lap, but his laps at the start were kind of mid-54s. It's given away a second lap to the competitors around them. So unsure of what the
what's the gap sitting at there? Just having a look at it, it's what, 13 seconds there to Spain, 11 seconds to Italy. It's a tall order. We've got, what now, 7 laps left of this race, so be keen to see how it plays out. Now, what about Spain? Are they boxing? No, they're not. What about Italy? Are they boxing? Valerio Gallo's tyres are surely going to be coming towards the end of their shelf life, but both of those top two continuing on. Expect Brazil to come into the pit lane at the end of this lap. They're going to get off the hard tyre as soon as they possibly can. 6 laps for Lucas Bonelli. Malaysia get a warning for illegal blocking. Look at that, time to perfection. 1 litre of fuel for Bonelli as he boxes for Brazil. It's going to be Adriano Carrazza who will take over for their final stint in the race. The gap between themselves and Italy was 11 seconds, and some 3 seconds behind Italy behind Spain are Italy at the moment as well. So it is all to play for here as we wait for these final strategies to diverge.
What must you be thinking right now if you are Adriano Carrazza? You've been given the anchor role. You've got to bring the car home. You have the better tyre than the teams around you will have on their stint. It's completely up to him now. We know how fast he is. We know how aggressive he is. I remember a crazy move we saw all the way back in 2019 Tokyo, for those who remember that at the last chicane at Le Mans. This guy is not afraid to make those moves. He's someone you want in the car for this last attempt. So Team Brazil then are now finished. Their stops are over. It's just a sprint to the line. There is the difference. Team Japan. Kobayashi's in the car at the moment. It's on a 50.3 on the last lap. So a very, very quick time. Fastest car on circuit, unsurprisingly, at the moment. Can Japan bring their way back into this? Whatever happens, one thing is certain. It's going to be a grand slam finish here for the World Finals in 2023 at Barcelona. As meanwhile, down the back of the field, they're still fighting over the last positions there. So USA 8th, Canada and Netherlands side by side now, coming down to Eau Rouge and Radion. Neither want to give up. Netherlands side by side still with Team Canada. And almost losing it into the barrier. And they're still side by side as Spain finally comes into the pits for their last stop. Paul Ura has been tasked with bringing the car home on that hard tyre.
Italy timed that just about right. No fuel left in the car whatsoever. This is absolutely amazing racing further down. They're only battling for 8th place. The USA now ahead of the Netherlands, now ahead of Canada, as we watch the leaders into the pit lane. Warning for Canada and the Netherlands there for a collision. So this is going to be hugely exciting to end this race. And Paul Ura, the reigning Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup champion, is tasked with bringing that car home.
It is taking a bit of a breath there, I think, just trying to centre himself. He's only a young lad, Paul Ura, and he's got an amazing amount of pressure on his shoulders right now, as much as the expectation of the crowd as well. So where do they come out? They come out ahead of Italy, as we expected there. 45 litres of fuel going into that car, slightly less than Team Italy, which means Team Italy will be able to push that a little bit harder. Businelli getting in the car on that hard compound tyre. We saw his mistake earlier on. I'm sure he's centred now, though, and it is just a sprint to the line. So if you've just joined us, you've joined us for the most exciting part of the Grand Final here at Barcelona. Here are your live points rankings if the race ended as it was at the moment. But Team Spain and Team Italy both on that hard compound tyre, so they're going to lose ground to Brazil, and Team Japan on that soft compound tyre Kobayashi absolutely flying right now.
The question is, though, for Brazil, though Adriano Carreras is going to make up that gap, 10 seconds in, what, 4 or 5 laps, that's a very, very tall order. However, if Japan's Kobayashi closes up onto the back of them, it's not out of the question that that could really disrupt their challenge for that victory. Let's see what happens, meanwhile, with 8th place here between the USA and the Netherlands. So Caden Roach and De Bruyne there behind the wheel as they come side by side down the Kemmel Straight then. Netherlands there getting themselves ahead of the Team USA in towards Les Combes. All of these drivers on the soft compound of tyre and giving each other no quarter whatsoever. Canada versus Belgium. Close behind, Malaysia's just dropped off the back. Belgium pick up another penalty. That's a second one in this race. So it goes from bad to worse for the Belgians on home soil here at Spa-Francorchamps. Meanwhile, looking at the gap between Spain and Italy, it's pretty much a constant now, about 5 seconds there and thereabouts on this, their outlap after boxing. The gap between Brazil and Italy sits at about 9.2 seconds, and now we see the USA versus Canada going 2 by 2 into the Fagnes chicane then. Canada on the inside, USA on the outside, bang! Off into the wall and into Malaysia there as well. A big incident, was only a matter of time before something unfolded, and unfortunately Malaysia innocent victims in that one. A big, big shame, because that's the voidness of what was a very close and exciting battle on the fringes of the top 10. And as Belgium served their penalty, the USA, sick as a parrot, taking out 2 of their fellow competitors.
It's a shame, really, but ultimately, you know, it's just a pride at this point. This is not for one of the positions that we're after today. The top 3 are what we're, of course, going to be sort of focusing on there. But still, USA and Belgium still fighting at this point. What do you reckon we're going to see a penalty for Team USA, Tom?
I don't know. It's hard to tell, really. I mean, he was going side by side with Canada, wasn't he? Was Caden Roach for the USA. Just got on the power a little bit too eagerly. There was contact between them. Malaysia, the innocent victim. It's kind of scuppered both their races, but I don't know if it's penalty worthy.
So I'm looking at lap times right now. Japan are absolutely rocketing. 49.7 from them and a 52.0 from Brazil, as we have Team USA going back past Team Belgium up towards Les Combes. Will they be able to break the Belgian car on the inside? I doubt they're going to let them have it that easily. No, they're still there, side by side. We're running a long way around, and USA do get back past Team Belgium up into 9th position. But I would love to see the POV from Kobayashi at the moment. 2.6 seconds, and he is just latching onto the back of Team Brazil.
That's race over.
I mean, he's right.
Yeah, let's have another look at it here.
Who was that?
It was Callum.
So talk us through it, Jimmy, coming in towards Fagnes.
Yeah, so see the go a little bit wide there from them. Here comes Callum up the inside, just gets it wrong. It's not on purpose at all, just gets it sideways, and there's no room to recover when there's a car on your outside there. So not intentional, but of course it is the fault there of Team USA. And I think in keeping with what we've seen so far, a 4-second penalty given to Team USA. Unsurprising, really. Meanwhile, front of the field, Team Brazil in 3rd place right now. Look, that's the gap. Team Japan have really brought that gap down again. Last lap, 51.5 from Brazil, 49.8 from Team Japan, and Spain at the front of the field. Paul Ura putting in a fantastic stint, only running about a second slower than Carreras on those mediums at the moment. As it stands, they will not be able to catch Team Spain. The only people I think they can will be this man, Rikutu Kobayashi. Does he have the pace left in the car, Tom?
Well, even that's a tall order, Jimmy. I mean, he's, going to get past Brazil before too long, but there's a 6-second deficit between them and Italy, and then Spain as well. So let's see what happens here for Rikutu Kobayashi. Either way, it has been quite an emphatic stint, and it will be crucial for them as to where they will be finishing in the point standings. Coming down in towards the left-hander of turn 9 we go. On board here with Kobayashi. No further action between Belgium and Malaysia for a collision between those 2 nations. Down into P1, you can see visibly how much more grip Kobayashi has got underneath him as he comes in towards the Fagnes chicane. The gap is going to be under a second for the first time in just a couple of corners through the right and the left, and surely it's going to be the run through Blanchimont and the bus stop where we will see Kobayashi able to take effect of it. The Japanese Formula 4 champion making his way through the right-hander. He has got the bit between his teeth, and he is ready to try and take away that final position on the podium from Brazil here tonight.
If he keeps doing 49s and Italy keeps doing 43s, he might be able to catch Italy, but he might even catch Spain. It depends how those tyres hold up. But now, locking on to the back of Carrazza and Team Brazil. Carrazza won't just take this lying down, I can guarantee you now, but there's not much he can do on that medium compound tyre. This soft tyre, when it's in its prime, is unreal. You can brake so late. When he goes to the inside here, no, he decides, I think, to go for the clever move now. He's going to just sit behind Carrazza up through Eau and Radion, use the toe, get the easy pass into Les Combes, waste as little time as possible. See a short shift into 7th gear to sort of slow down his acceleration. Now he's in the toe. Now he'll get the slipstream. Now he gets a speed boost up to nearly 200 mile an hour. Goes inside. There's nothing Carrazza can do. Up into 3rd place goes Kobayashi. Now, does he have the time to catch Busnelli for Team Italy and Paul Ura for Team Spain?
So this is going to be really interesting in these final couple of laps of racing. Through into the right-hander we go. These are the live point standings. If the checkered flag fell now, it would still be Japan in 4th place, but by just 1 point. So they need to get themselves ahead of Italy in order to get onto the podium for this, the final race of the season. So if it fell as it was now, it would be Spain from Brazil, from Italy. That would be your top 3 in the Nations Cup. It is critical for Japan to get themselves ahead of Busnelli for Italy. There's only a couple of laps left though, and there's a gap of 3.2 seconds. Team radio for Spain.
Me estoy escapando de Marcus.
So I'm pulling away from Marcus, says Team Spain. That's Paul Ura who is behind the wheel of that car. So that's music to the ears of Spain, and also music to the ears of the crowd here in Barcelona as well.
Yeah, so this could be it for Team Spain. Only a couple of laps left, but we saw the Manufacturers' Cup yesterday that mistakes can be made in the last lap. The pressure might get to Paul Ura. He's got a massive live audience here behind him, winning him on, but you know, I don't want to be in his shoes right now. Possibly only 2 laps away from becoming the Nations Cup champion with his fellow Spanish teammates. So, penultimate lap now, Tom.
Pushing on is Kobayashi there. You see Benelli went a little bit deep in towards the bus stop chicane. I tell you what, it's not over for Brazil as well. They can go from bad to worse, 4th place, but France aren't far behind in 5th position there as well, and they're on the soft tyre.
You were right, Japan really are getting on with it now, as there's only 2 seconds between Japan and Italy. That time, last time around, 3 seconds faster was Kobayashi than Busnelli, and if that pace continues, he'll be past the Italian driver by the end of this lap. So here is Kobayashi on an absolute charge. He's even got the fuel to spare as well compared to the cars around him. So this is how it's done. We're on board now with Rikuto Kobayashi. In front is Italy's Marco Busnelli. That is for an overall podium in this competition. Look how much more speed the Japanese driver has into Rivarage. Going into X now, watching through here, carrying on the curb, using the downforce of the car on the throttle so much earlier than the car in front. Now we get to the double apex corner. Buon. This is where this car on the soft tyres is really going to show us advantage. And look, we're just driving up to the back of Busnelli. It must be just a sinking feeling if you're an Italian driver. There's nothing you can do right now apart from just try and hold your line, but we're already on the rear spoiler. Is this going to be a pass for 2nd place here at Spa? Not quite at the moment, just waiting, I think, just being patient, but you can't afford to be patient. Sideways now an exit, and now we come up towards one of the fastest parts of the course now in the slipstream. It's going to be an easy pass here for Kobayashi. Up the inside, he goes up into 2nd place. The gap is 6 seconds to Spain in front. I don't think he's going to catch him, Tom. It's got to be something really special here from Japan if we're going to catch Team Spain.
Don't think we're going to see a retaliation from Busnelli there as well. He'll try as hard as he can, but there's just no match. Hard to soft tyre compounds between those two. The crowd were absolutely delighted with that overtake, and it will secure Japan that final place on the podium here in the Nations Cup as well. Spain, 6.2 seconds up the road. There you go. You can see the live point standings. It won't only secure them the podium for Japan, it secures them 2nd place in the standings here. But Brazil now coming under pressure here from France, and that could drop them down the order and possibly elevate Italy back up as well. We're on the final lap of action here at Spa-Francorchamps, and it's now all in the hands of Kylian Drumont to deny Brazil a possible podium at the dying stages of this race. Down the Kemmel Straight we go. The only saving grace for Brazil is they're just about within slipstream range of Italy up the road in front of them.
Well, this is going to be a bit of trouble here, is that Busnelli is the slowest by far of this little pack, so he might fall back into this. We might end up having a 3-way scrap for 3rd place here in the grand final of the World Finals here at Barcelona. So here we are, we're in the last half a lap of this year's racing, and all still to play for the podium. Here comes Team France and Kylian Drumont. He needs to get by as soon as possible and then try and just rocket after the Italian team. Is it going to be possible? We'll have to find out.
I don't think he's going to be close enough in towards the pith path. There's only a couple of corners left for him to find his way through in this sector of the lap, and I don't think it's going to be close enough for him to challenge on Italy. Through into the right-hander of Stabilo we go for Kylian Drumont. He might be set to deny Brazil their top three finish. I don't know if he's going to be quite close enough to challenge for Italy as well. We come through in towards Blanchimont for the final time. What a result it has been for Team Spain, for Jose Serrano, for Coque Lopez, for Paul Ura through the final corner, and out of it now to become the 2023 Nations Cup World Champions. It's Spain on top at Spa. Japan come home in second place on the road. It's third for Italy. It's fourth for Brazil. They do keep their top three finish in the point standings overall. And France finishing in fifth position at the checkered flag. The crowd here in Barcelona are absolutely delighted, as are the Spanish trio of Serrano, Lopez and Ura. What a race!
And predictably there, as you say, Tom, the crowd absolutely erupts as Paul Ura crosses the line. And fun fact, Coque Lopez there comes your first ever back-to-back Nations Cup champion. Of course, different format, but still a new stat for Tom and his lovely repository of useless stats.
I am looking forward to putting that in my folder for next year. Jimmy, thank you very much indeed. What a drive from the Spanish team. Jose Serrano, Coque Lopez, Paul Ura is the lineup. Chile as well. Angel Enestrosa, of course, returning to this one. Eventually for them, it would be sixth position at the checkered flag. And Brazil, goodness me, they were so lucky to not get overtaken by France on the final lap of that. It does secure them that top three finishing position. So the top three will be as we know it, with Brazil finishing in third place, Japan in second, and Spain on top. Here is the race then, some highlights. You can see Spain taking over from Brazil in the opening stages. Further down the order, it all kicked off here between the Netherlands, the USA and Malaysia.
Yeah, these guys were sort of their own worst enemies. They were too busy fighting down the back of the field to really progress any further than that. It was some great racing, don't get me wrong, but of course the goal was to be as far up as possible and fighting for ninth, 8th and 1. Here was Valerio Gallo on the soft compound, making light of that. Here was France and Belgium, similar overtake there. Of course, Belgium got pretty much involved in every instant in this race, it seems.
Yeah, they really did. This was Brazil versus Spain at the halfway stage in the race. Brazil, of course, on the hard tyre, Spain on the medium compound. They were through relatively easily at turn 9, and then they were never seen again as the race reached its conclusion. You can see here Italy going through on Brazil as well. Italy on the soft compound of tyre at this middle stage in the race. And then it all kicked off further back as well. The USA into the side of Canada. They in turn hit Malaysia. Innocent victims there, Malaysia. A 4-second penalty was deemed for USA to be at fault for that. And fair enough, as we see Japan versus Italy part 2 on the penultimate lap. And the Japanese team getting ahead of Italy, crucial for them for the top 3 finish, but nothing to deny the Spanish team, the trio here in Barcelona, the top honours in the Nations Cup.
That's what it means there, you see. All chucking it there, but let's throw it down on Jules now. It's with our winning team, Team Spain.
I am here with the winners, Team Spain. Let's hear it. Okay, guys. How do you feel right now? Tell me how you're feeling right now. Jose.
Bueno, no sé, no tengo palabras por cómo me siento. Bueno, no tengo palabras por lo que siento ahora mismo. La verdad que es increíble. ¡Campeones, campeones! ¡Oe, oe, oe! Buah, un sueño para mí esto. Dar enhorabuena también a Paul y a Coque porque han hecho un carrerón en sus carreras y también en su Steam y estoy flipando ahora mismo.
Well, amazing. Look at this crowd. That's what he said at the beginning. And then I have to thank Coque and Paul. They did an amazing job as always. And yeah, as always, incredible with this team.
Paul, was there a particular moment where you were like, actually, you know what? When the strategy kicked in, you were like, okay, I think we've got this. What was the moment? Was there a moment?
Yeah, after the first lap, when I saw that Italy wasn't coming at all, like we could escape from them, I was like, okay, maybe we have this, but be careful. And I just tried to not drive as fast as I could, just try to keep the car on track, and yeah, that's it.
And Koke, how do you feel? You are the first ever back-to-back Nations Cup winner. How are you doing?
Well,
You're too tired to talk like it.
I go first English then Spanish, okay?
Okay.
It feels amazing to be the first back-to-back Nations Cup winner, but of course this couldn't be possible without my two amazing teammates, because for example, first team I was so with Igor. We had a bit of a mind game and it was quite funny to play with him. But then also it was amazing to have Jose and Paul as a teammates, because they just made what we knew we could do from when we were training at home. And yeah, it feels amazing. Y en español, que nada, que ha sido un placer obviamente poder volver a ganar la Copa de Naciones y ser el primero en conseguir ganarlo de vuelta por segunda vez. Pero obviamente en este caso no podía haber sido posible sin la ayuda de Paul y Josete, porque la verdad es que hemos hecho un trabajo increíble todo el año. Y nada, increíble también poder haber luchado el primer Steam con Igor y hacer un poco ese juego psicológico, que ver quién pasaba, porque los dos sabíamos que ahorrando iba a ser mejor. Pero al final he tirado y nada, muchísimas gracias obviamente a todos. Y quiero...
Well, guys,
quiero agradecer y también dedicar esta victoria, como siempre, a mi padre, que, bueno, de arriba siempre está ahí. Pero no solo a mi padre, también a Anto, igual que se han juntado aquí para poder ver estas carreras. Seguro que ahí arriba se han juntado los dos también. Y nada, también mi hermana, mi cuñado. Y mi sobrina Chloe, que acaba de nacer, y ha sido lo que me ha dado la motivación para poder entrenar. Y último, y no por eso menos importante, mi madre, que siempre ha sido el mejor apoyo que he tenido. Y nada. No soy muy cariñoso. Mi madre sabe que la quiero un montón. Este año ha dado un paso muy duro en la vida y lo está haciendo genial. Estoy súper orgulloso de ti, mamá.
Well, Koke, thanking his family, especially his dad, who's not with us, his mother. So, yeah, really, really emotional for him.
Well, look, amazing job to all the drivers, especially well done to you guys. Let's hear it for our Nations Cup champions, Team Spain!
Job from Team Spain. They become the 2023 Nations Cup World Champions. Japan in second, Italy in third on the road. You can see there Brazil in fourth place, just ahead of France by a whisker. These are the overall points rankings. These are your top three. Spain become the champions, Japan in second, Brazil in third, Italy just missing out on the top three finish ahead of Chile and France as well. A hugely exciting Nations Cup Grand Final that, Jimmy, and it went right down to the wire. The crowd here are going absolutely berserk, by the way.
Yeah, you can see how much that meant to Koke Lopez. This is what is the beauty of sim racing, and having that at a live event as well. I mean, it feels the feeling. Racing is racing. It doesn't matter if it's in real life or virtually, and that sort of stuff just proves that point fantastic. Of course, I mentioned, to Team Italy, just not quite close enough there to get on that podium. But I think points-wise, that's one of the closest finals we've had for a very long time.
Yeah, it was hugely exciting. More of the same in 2024, please. By the way, you can vote for your Michelin driver of the day as well. Is it Jose Serrano? Is it Igor Fraga? Is it Rakuto Kobayashi? Jimmy, if you were a betting man, who would you say is most likely for that one?
Oh man, that's a difficult one. I mean, Kobayashi's stint at the end was fantastic. fantastic. Definitely can't look by that. And Serrano's recovery in race 2 after getting shunted off by Boostin earlier was nothing short of amazing. But of course, I'll let you guys decide. I'm not going to try and sway you that much. But of course, if you've missed any of the action tonight, don't worry. Some highlights of every race so far. Race 1, we had production cars, which made for some fantastic racing. And it was Italy, Spain and France at the early pace, with Team Japan coming through the field after a poor qualifying in the Lamborghini.
Yeah, you can see Japan, as you say, going side by side here with Brazil. Lamborghini versus Supra. I love Gran Turismo for this. Some very, very exciting racing in very different machinery. You can see here on the final lap, this was Italy versus Spain. Italy running it a bit wide. Spain back through on the inside. It was first blood to Pol Jura and the Spanish trio. And we wonder whether they may continue in the same form as we went to Watkins Glen, but unfortunately a biff off the track from Italy compounded their woes. They eventually would recover to 4th place as France decided to go spinning around. And, well, then we saw Brazil getting themselves into the lead of the race. Igor Fraga, the single-seater specialist, up the sharp end, never to be seen again until the checkered flag.
And this is where Brazil's attack really started. And we knew they were going to be faster, of course, and also in this race as well. Here was Coque Lopez diving up the inside. Probably one of the more moves of the evening, to be honest there. 2 cars in one at T1. Then we went 3 wide all the way down to T1 a couple of laps later. And again, Coque Lopez showing that he was the latest of the late breakers. Meanwhile, Team Japan and Team Italy fought all race long. And at the end, it would be Team Japan that came out on top. It was Brazil and Corazza who took the win in race 3. And it set them up very nicely for the grand final.
This was the grand final. Then you can see Brazil leading the way on the soft tyres early doors. This, of course, involved all 3 of the drivers. It involved all 3 tyre compounds as well. So it made things very exciting. This was half race distance, Brazil versus Spain, and up the inside going Spain on the quicker medium compound over the hard-shod Brazilian team at this particular point. Italy then got the better of Brazil just a lap or so later as they went down in towards Peugeot. Quite a brilliant middle stint there from the Italian team. Didn't go all the way for some of the teams. Unfortunately, the USA biffing into the side of Canada. Canada emerging back onto the track in the path of Malaysia as well. Back at the sharp end, Japan got themselves ahead of Italy with just a lap or so to go. And we saw Spain claiming the crown, becoming the 2023 Nations Cup champions. What a result, what a reception from the crowd here in Brazil as well. In Barcelona, I should say, rather.
Yeah, not quite the same thing, Tom, but I think we were all maybe secretly hoping for a Spanish win in the day of this home crowd, and they did not disappoint.
These were your predictions after this one. You can see Spain with a 39% prediction to take the victory, 18% there for Brazil, 17% for Japan. Interestingly, those 3 teams all on the podium here tonight. Yeah. Not necessarily in that order, I should add, because Spain, of course, won. We see Japan in 2nd and then Brazil in 3rd in the top 3 standings. But what an exciting weekend's worth of racing we've had. It's been an absolute treat here in Barcelona. So great to have a live audience back in 2023. We saw a great crowd in Amsterdam. We've seen a buoyant crowd in Barcelona here as well.
Yeah, I feel like we've had amazing racing in just every series, every race so far. Remind, of course, of our press conference a bit later on to get those gritty details of all our drivers and some maybe behind-the-scenes action as well there.
Well, I think we should crown our 2023 top 3 finishers here for the Nations Cup of the World Finals in Barcelona. Please welcome onto the stage in 3rd place. It is Adriano Corazza, Lucas Binelli and Igor Fraga from Team Brazil. Second place in the 2023 Nations Cup. Please welcome Rikuta Kobayashi and Saya Suzuki. It is Team Japan! And please welcome your 2023 Nations Cup World Champions, Jose Serrano, Coque Lopez and Pol Jura from Team Spain! And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to stand if you are able and to please remove your caps. It's the national anthem of our winning team for Spain. The national anthem of Spain plays out for our winning Nations Cup champions here in Barcelona. Now it is time for the trophies to be presented. First of all, to our third place team, it is the president of BBS Japan, Takayuki Nitta. And of course, it is awarded to our third place finishers, to Rikuta Kobayashi, to Saya Suzuki, and of course to the absent Takuma Sasaki. It is awarded to our third place finishers of Team Japan. Apologies there, the third place awards it goes to Team Brazil, to Adriano Carazza, to Lucas Benelli, and to Igor Fraga here in Barcelona. And now time for the second place trophy to be presented by the brand manager for Brembo of Alberto Ferrari. And is awarded to our second place finishers of Team Japan, to Rikuta Kobayashi, to Saya Suzuki, and of course to the absent Takuma Sasaki here for the Nations Cup in Barcelona. And now it is time for the first place medals to be presented to our winning team. They are awarded by Jeffrey Marseille, the gaming manager for Michelin. And of course it goes to Jose Serrano, to Koke Lopez, and to Paul Ura, the winning nations here in Barcelona, Team Spain. And now it is time for the first place trophy to be presented to our winning nation here for the World Finals in Barcelona. It is presented by Kazunori Yamauchi, the Gran Turismo series producer, and it goes to Jose Serrano, Koke Lopez, and Paul Ura, your 2023 Nations Cup World Champions, Team Spain!
My goodness, what a Nations Cup. Jimmy, you were saying that you thought having like a home crowd advantage equals maybe 2/10 of us. I feel like that's a completely wrong load of mathematics. Clearly, it had a massive effect.
At the end, it was worth about 5 seconds, the gap at the end. But yeah, amazing to see that home support, and no doubt that must have played a factor in this win today.
I mean, you could see it. You could definitely see it. How did you find that, Tom?
Exhausting, to be honest with you. So much so that I managed to get the podium the wrong way around. So sincerest apologies to Team Japan.
It's right, Tom, you have to do an awful lot of talking during these. It's perfectly understandable.
Too much so. I think I need to take a bit of a rest from it.
Sit in a quiet room for a few days, Tom, and just
I need
take
to have a nice lie down. It was amazing, though, wasn't it? I mean, there was drama right to the end, and you can't discredit Team Spain at all from that. I mean, the home crowd here, I'm sure, must have given them a few tenths of a second.
But I mean, honestly, you could see it in their eyes. You could see it when he's like, just going over. You can see everything. It's been absolutely amazing. The crowd here have been awesome all weekend. We've had 3 amazing days of racing. High points for you, Jimmy?
I mean, that bit there, that was pretty good. I enjoyed that. I mean, the crowd here has been so loud. That's got to be the high point for me. Having a live audience makes a difference massively in these events. And we have these pretty good in-ears here, but even those can't protect from that. Nothing. Zero chance.
Mauro, what's been kind of one of your high points from the weekend?
It's really difficult to kind of pick one in particular, but I have to say, Pol Euro is the standout driver of the weekend for me. The Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup performed really well in the Manufacturers' Cup here yesterday, and of course, did it with Team Spain for the Nations here tonight. I know we've got to pick a Michelin driver of the day in the press conference this afternoon,
yes,
but he is the standout performer of the weekend for me.
It's been just top quality from start to finish. Well, I guess this is the end, guys, for now, for this year for Gran Turismo. It's been our absolute pleasure to bring you all of these events all the way through the year. We love doing this show. We love you guys watching it. So yeah, we'll keep you posted what's going to be happening next year, but it's been our supreme pleasure. Stick around for that press conference, and we're going to be announcing the Michelin driver of the day there too. So it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from these guys. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
PlayStation.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon and welcome to the final press conference of 2023. It is the Gran Turismo World Finals Nations Cup here in Barcelona. And of course, we have witnessed a spectacular evening's worth of racing, which culminated with Spain becoming the Nations Cup champions of 2023. Jose Serrano, Koke Lopez and Pol Ura as that driver lineup. Second place for Japan with Rikuta Kobayashi and Saya Suzuki. And third place for Team Brazil with Adriano Carrazza, Lucas Benelli and Igor Fraga. A round of applause for all three of the top finishing nations here this afternoon, please. Right, well, let's move on and get the questions underway then here in Barcelona. First of all, we'll go to our 2023 Nations Cup champions, Team Spain. Pol, we'll start off with yourself first of all, because you were the driver who crossed the line here this afternoon. Just talk us through your emotions. You won the Toyota Gazoo Racing Cup here on Friday. You're now the Nations Cup champion here on Sunday. How does it feel?
Incredible. I have no words. So I just want to thank my family who came today, my friends, and my teammates who did an amazing job today and during all the season, all the trainings. Everything has paid off today. And I also want to congratulate Team Japan for the second place and Team Brazil for third place.
Pol, thank you very much. Jose, when we look at your race, how do you reflect on this incredible result for Team Spain?
Bueno, José, ¿cómo ves después de la carrera, ¿no? ¿Cómo has visto pues, todo lo sucedido y lo que has hecho en tu stint?
Bueno, lo veía en principio bastante complicado porque me he puesto en la 8ª posición y era bastante complicado de remontar, pero bueno, con mi ritmo hemos podido adelantar varias posiciones y ya lo hemos hecho, lo demás es historia.
Well, yeah, it was difficult because, you know, we were at P8 when we had this incident in my race, so everything looked really complicated for us, really difficult, but yeah, I had a great pace and then I could recover and yeah, everything came to us.
Perfect. Thank you very much indeed, Jose. And finally, we'll move over to Koke Lopez. Koke, of course, we've seen a change of format for 2023 with the team's element coming into the Nations Cup, but you are the first ever driver to win back-to-back Nations Cup titles. How do you feel?
It's amazing. As I said, the feeling of being the first Nations Cup back-to-back is amazing, but of course it couldn't be possible with my two teammates because we have done an amazing job. Pol did a great battle with Giorgio, with Team Italy, for getting the P1. And even though we were unlucky in race 2, when Jose was driving, he was back. He was able to be back on pace, and even not being easy to get focus after the accident, he came back from 8th to 4th in only 4 laps or 5. So it was amazing. Then I could get to P2 in the race 3, and that was perfect to try to play on a good position the grand final. But then it was a funny first thing with Igor because we both wanted to be behind for saving fuel. And yeah, in the end I decided to push, and that's why I was so confident on the pace of my teammates. And yeah, amazing feeling. Thanks to everyone for the support, and of course again to my teammates, and congrats to Team Brazil and Team Japan because they are very fast as well.
Koke, thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Jose Serrano, for Koke Lopez, for Pol Ura, the 2023 Nations Cup World Champions. And now we'll move over to Team Japan, who finished that race in second place. First of all, we'll start off with Saya Suzuki. Saya, how do you feel about finishing in second place for Team Japan, despite being one driver down?
今回ドライバーが1人抜けているにもかかわらずちゃんと2位を獲得できたことについてまずはせいや選手からコメントお願いします。
そうですね、まず2人で戦うことになることは本当に正直ここに向かうまでは本当に知らない状態だったので、まずはちょっと驚きながらもまず2人でどうやってその部分を補っていくかをちょっと考えていました。でそれを考えた上で今回の結果につながったことはいいことだと思っております。
Yeah, so I actually didn't know that we would have to fight this race with just the two of us. So as soon as we arrived and we found this out, we really just talked deeply on how we would compensate for that missing driver, and I think that worked out. We were able to go this far.
Saya, thank you very much. Let's move over to Rakuto Kobayashi. Rakuto, we know that you've been racing in Japanese Formula 4 this year, but we saw some incredible racecraft from you here tonight. How do you reflect on Team Japan's second place here in Barcelona?
じゃあリクト選手今日本の F4 でも走ってると聞いていますけど今回のレースの中でもやはりすごい技術がいろいろ見れて素晴らしかったと思います。今日の2位の入賞でどう思いますか。
はい、僕はこの2位という結果は、結果としてはもちろん、優勝を狙っていたのでそこに関しては、もう少し届かなかったなというところはあります。ただ、突然ここ2人で走ることになって、僕は、一切練習していないレースが1レースあったんですけど、そこも含めて最後まで安定して速いペースで走りきれたので、あとは2人でいい関係も、できていたのでそこは、とても良かったです。
So the second place result. Of course, we were going for the win. So just falling short of the overall victory is a little disappointing. But there was because we only had two drivers. There was one race that I hadn't really practiced for at all. But I was able to maintain a fast pace and drive the race in a constant way. So I think it really helped that I was able to make a good relationship with my co-driver, and that's what produced the result.
Rakuto, thank you very much. Team Japan finishing in second place for the Nations Cup. And without further ado, we'll move over to our third place finishers, who is Team Japan. Igor Fraga, we'll start off with yourself. Igor, we saw in that grand final that you started off in the Red Bull X 2019. You were right up the front and managed to pull out a good advantage. How do you reflect on your stint and Brazil's result of third place?
Yeah, so we didn't know actually what tire to start. It was a tough situation because with the slipstream and everything, if the car behind start with the mediums and then overtake before, after your rouge and everything at the end of the straight, then you would have basically your race lost. So we tried to check with the other what the other team were trying to do with the starting tires, and then at the very last moment we decided that I was going to go with the soft tires. I think the stint itself was decent. We were in different strategies, so they were pushing a lot, and we were trying to save fuel to try to gain time on the pits. And actually, after finishing the stint, I was having 4% more of fuel, which would translate to more or less 1 second and a little bit, which was just the difference that we had. So, but after that, the strategy were different, and I think it just didn't pay off the way that we have set it all strategy. So it's kind of unfortunate, but it is how it is. Yeah.
Igor, thank you very much. Let's move over to your teammate Lucas Bonelli first of all. Lucas, you drove the middle stint of the race for Team Brazil. You were on the medium tyre, and that's where we saw the strategy begin to diverge between yourself and Team Spain. How do you reflect on your stint in the car in that grand final?
Sim, eu tentei segurar um pouco a Espanha com pneu hard, mas a gente vinha numa estratégia com uma maior economia de combustível e que no final das contas acabou não valendo a pena. Não tivemos um bom aproveitamento em relação ao gap que a Espanha abriu e no final foi só restar para salvar o pódio.
Yep, so when Spain was coming close at that stint, I tried to defend a little bit, but then because, I was in need to save a lot of fuel compared to them, so it was difficult to fight a lot for position. And then, the strategy didn't pay off. So after that, we were trying to always minimize the damage of the strategy that we have chosen.
Lucas, thank you very much, and also Igor, thank you for the translation there as well. And finally, we'll move over to Adriano Carazza. Adriano, you were placed with a very difficult task of driving the final stint of the car on hard compound of tyres, but you managed to hold position with France closing down on you, and you secured third place for Team Brazil at the checkered flag. How do you feel?
Yeah, my stint of the medium tires is good. I saw the Japan with soft tires behind. I don't want to fight because that moment I won a podium, so I don't want to fight. I try to follow him and slipstream, and the last turn is a lot of pressure because I have Italy with hards and France with soft. I try to defend on the sideline, and yes, we save a podium. It's great for us.
Adriano, thank you very much to Adriano Carazza, to Lucas Bonelli, and to Igor Fraga of Team Brazil, who finished in third place in the Nations Cup. Anyway, that's enough from me. Let's now crown our Michelin Driver of the Day for the 2023 Nations Cup. We'll do a presentation in just a couple of moments' time as well. And the 2023 Michelin Driver of the Day for the Nations Cup here in Barcelona is awarded to Jose Serrano. Perfect. Thank you very much indeed. And many congratulations to Jose Serrano, the Michelin Driver of the Day. I'd now like to open it up to questions from our media on the floor here in Barcelona.
Hello. Hi, I'm Jordan Greer from GT Planet. My question is for Team Spain. First of all, congratulations to all of you guys. I was curious about your race strategy and the order of drivers that you had, because actually some of your most experienced drivers went first. Can you explain how you came to that decision for your driver order?
So how we came to? Can you repeat the exact question, please? We couldn't.
Yeah, I'm just curious how you came to your decision to your driver order, and how you came to that conclusion.
Okay. So yeah, after the 3 individual races, we had a second position in the standings. So in Amsterdam it worked from first position, putting the softs, try to push. And this time we had another rival, which was Brazil, doing the same strategy. So it was a bit more complicated to choose what to do. We chose the soft, and we had to deal with if we had to push ahead and let them save some fuel behind us, or be us the ones who saved behind them. And in the end, we tried a bit the first to save some fuel behind them, but we saw that we maybe could escape. Skokie was very fast on the soft, and he started pushing and actually pulled quite a big gap that was very difficult for Igor to save fuel behind.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Hi there, yeah, Tom from Overtake. I just want to say this was a brilliant event. Thank you very much to everyone who organised it, and congratulations to everyone for finishing on the podium. And well done to everyone on Team Brazil. But my question is for Igor Fraga specifically, which is you've competed in every World Series since 2018. So would you still like to continue next year, and how are your plans shaping up for 2024?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I don't know, actually, because, you know, real-life racing also has been very busy. This season I did the Super GT season and the Super Formula Light. And yeah, there has been a lot of, you know, stuff that I'm needing to do. And yeah, the DD Pro actually arrived just before the showdown. And I opened up like 1 week before I arrived here at this event, because, you know, it was very tough. So being able to keep, you know, a good consistent level, it has been good, but, you know, the level will keep rising. And yeah, I have to, you know, try to follow, but I don't know if the time will allow me to do it. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'll try to stay, you know, as strong as possible. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Thank you very much indeed, Igor. Any further questions from the floor over here?
Congratulations to all you. It has been spectacular and incredible race. And the question for the 3 Spanish drivers: what do you want to say to these amazing people that have been there during 3 years supporting you? What do you want to say?
Well, I think it's the same I've said all the time since Thursday or Friday. That the crowd is what really made us be full motivated and more focused than ever to try to get the victory for them, because of course as a drivers we always want to thanks to them for all those good moments and the cheering they gave to us. So yeah, I think it's one of the things that gave us maybe plus 1 or 2 seconds in race pace today, and of course we have to say thanks to them.
Perfect. Thank you very much indeed. More questions from the floor coming in.
Hi. First of all, congratulations to Team Spain and all three teams. You guys did a great job. My question is for Jose Serrano real quick. I know that you also have another racing team that you work with. I wonder, did you guys work with any sports psychologists to develop your mental state for these kind of races?
Can you repeat?
I was like, when your other team that you work with, I think it's TGD or TGD or something like that, did you guys work with any sports psychologists to get yourself in the right mindset to do these kind of races?
Bueno, que si os habéis preparado, ¿no? Con tus compañeros de equipo, ¿habéis tenido algún tipo de protocolo para prepararos las carreras? ¿Alguna estrategia antes de la carrera para ello?
Bueno, hemos tenido una estrategia que era al principio preparar las 3 carreras cada uno y cada steam probarlo cada uno, y el que más fuerte se sintiera en cada carrera y en cada steam lo hiciera con ese neumático esa carrera, y a partir de ahí pues hemos ido mejorando nuestros tiempos.
Well, our main goal before the races was just to test during the practice sessions to analyze who was the best driver in each compound. So that was our own, goal and our strategy and our plan as a team, and that's how we, build this final race, the speed, and how we won.
Thank you.
Jose, thank you very much indeed. We'll bring an end to the press conference now here in Barcelona. Many congratulations to Team Brazil, to Team Japan, and of course to our 2023 Nations Cup World Champions, Team Spain. Right, that is the end of the Gran Turismo World Series in 2024. Many congratulations to all of those who have been involved. A huge thank you to our audience here in Barcelona and to you for watching at home as well. We thank you very much for your company over the course of this season, and we'll see you again in 2024 for more racing action.